Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And a very good evening from Jonathan Pearson, Michael Brown, with you on Sports Extra tonight for Tottenham Hotspur against West Ham United. It's always fiercely fought. From outside of London, people look at Tottenham against Arsenal. They might look at Arsenal against Chelsea. But let me tell you, Tottenham against West Ham United is one of the fiercest of all derby matches. Spurs looking for a fourth consecutive home win over West Ham. What can we expect from Tottenham Hotspur? Who on earth knows? Because they know one way of playing football under Ange Postecoglou, and that is attacking football. And West Ham United, they've shown this season as well that they can compete again on two fronts. Michael, what's going to happen tonight? Because I have no idea.
I think the rest of the world are also thinking that as well, because when you get this Spurs side at the moment, they are inconsistent, they are unpredictable, but what they are, they're exciting. They play a high line, they want to press, they want to get forward, they want to hit you really quick, really brave. Yes, they've had lots of injuries, but they've been really good to watch. With West Ham, they've got that little bit of inconsistency. I think David Moyes is developing a side for a long period of time. We've seen him in the European competitions and they're still growing. A slight little bit of criticism, which I think is unfair. We maybe expect too much from them, but this could be a sensational game.
The two lineups down below us for the Premier League anthem. The flags are being waved in the South Stand. Away to my right-hand side, the old Park Lane end of the ground. 17,500 it holds in this mighty stadium, one of the finest I have ever been in my life, I can tell you. It is absolutely magnificent. Spurs without a victory in 4 league games, despite scoring the opening goal in all 4 of those matches. And after losing 3 league games in a row, West Ham unbeaten in their last 3. They haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last 11 top-flight away games. Tottenham Hotspur have scored in 26 successive league matches. Couple of changes for them today. In come Højbjerg, back comes Romero after suspension. He takes the place of Emerson Royal. Højbjerg thickens the midfield in place of Brian Hill, who goes to the bench. It's Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro, Christian Romero. Too many red cards in his Tottenham career, already 4 in 75 games. Ben Davies and Destiny Udogie. Højbjerg alongside Bissouma. And then you've got Kulusevski, Lo Celso and Brennan Johnson. In what order, we'll wait to see, with Son playing through the middle, looking to get into double figures today. He scored 5 goals and has 3 assists in his 8 Premier League home games against West Ham United, who themselves make a couple of changes today. The most surprising, Łukasz Fabianski in goal for the first time since the end of May, his first Premier League appearance of the season, replacing the normal first choice, Areola, who has a wrist injury. So Fal and Zuma back in the side as well. He missed the Crystal Palace draw. He's their second change. Naif, Aged and Emerson, that's their back 4, with Alvarez and Ward-Prowse holding in midfield. Kudus, Thomas Soucek, Lucas Paqueta providing the bullets for Jarrod Bowen, who of course is in magnificent away form. He's scored in each of his 6 Premier League away games this season. We're nearly ready to start. Bowen will be key for West Ham United, but they've got plenty of potential in that side to score goals.
Yeah, they have. See, Jarrod Bowen is the one who David Moyes has talked about stepping up, being that leader, being the one who leads from the front. Mikel Antonio is another. They've got a little bit of flair, we know that, in this West Ham side, but ultimately as a defensive unit they can be quite stubborn. But it's a big opportunity for them. They know there's going to be spaces, they know it's going to be open, but what can happen? This is what we keep saying. I hope it's as good as what we expect. I hope they continue in their way. I've seen it at Man City last week and Spurs certainly didn't disappoint.
Kabsar is back on the Spurs bench. He's been out for a little while, which is good to see as their injuries just begin to ease a little bit. The trumpeter starts the refrain of when the Spurs go marching in. Up the Spurs, it says on a blue letters on a lily white background of a giant flag twirled in row C of the South Stand. And virtually everyone in a stadium that holds, some 62,850 standing at the moment. An electrifying atmosphere, and off we go on Sports Extra with Tottenham all in white, kicking from right to left then against West Ham United in their famous claret and blue. The whistle blown from today's referee, Michael Salisbury. The VAR today is John Brooks, who had a fantastic game, in my opinion, last night at Aston Villa against Manchester City. He allowed a degree of physicality and allowed the game to flow, and how it flowed for Aston Villa. If either of these teams produce the sort of display that Villa did last night, we're in for a treat. Udogie runs it down the left-hand side for Tottenham Hotspur and picks it up once again as West Ham fail to clear, and he looks for Son, and Son into the box, and it's an early chance, and out comes Fabianski. Now, did he bring down Kulusevski? Is that a penalty kick? It's just a goal kick, but it's an early chance, and West Ham were side open, Mike.
Oh, they were. Udogie just wanted to get forward straight away as soon as he got the ball, and in the second phase he continued. Son, a little reverse pass, it was tight. Kulusevski, good position, people coming off in different areas, and at that point just over the top of the goalkeeper. I'm going to have a look at it if there's any contact whatsoever. He just tries to go around him, and say Fabianski comes out and does well.
And at the end of all that, the flag was raised anyway on the far side. He must have just been a fraction offside as he went early. Kulusevski, that's headed on by Souček in the midfield for West Ham United. I think last season, second half of last season, certainly the start of this, Thomas Souček has rediscovered his mojo. I thought start of last season he looked a little bit leg weary, but he's come back really strongly. This is a good West Ham United side.
Yeah, it is. I've been surprised that they are getting that bit of criticism. You know, when you play in those European competitions, lots of games, it is difficult. He's missing a couple of players as well, but you know, what a start from Spurs, getting in behind and getting to good areas, and Udogie's just going into the midfield area. It's leaving Ben Davies just to come wide. The two centre-backs, the two wide players, Brennan Johnson on that left-hand side, he's really high. On the other side, Kulusevski and Son just staying, occupying the back four of West Ham, and that's creating the overload in the middle for them.
Vicario has it, the Tottenham goalkeeper, in pale blue with white gloves on tonight. It's been a very, very wet night in London as Son has it now for Spurs and spins it through the channel, looks for Udogie up in support, and he crashes it against Aguerd, and the ball has slithered away for a corner kick. What a bright start by Spurs.
What a bright start by Udogie as well. I mean, sensational run. Thinking, is he going to continue? So obviously his starting point was in the middle of the pitch, and not only that, running right in behind, wonderful pass and just that block. But now a set piece, will they go short or will they put it straight in?
What an impact he's had this season, Destiny Udogie, who turned 21 last month. In comes the corner kick, glanced away and comes out once again to Udogie. Signed from Udinese but then loaned back, so this is his breakthrough season, the young Italian international. And Spurs press with Lo Celso towards the left-hand touchline. That's a lovely, wicked, bending cross in that's collected by the goalkeeper from Pedro Porro, the right back, who popped up on the left-hand side. And Spurs have it back again from a poor clearance by Fabianski.
What's he doing over there? He's all the way over the far side. You know, they're so fluid, aren't they? They've got the licence to move around and they're filtering the different positions. And find West Ham now also, OK, I'll see what you're doing, I'll sit and wait. Midfield three, it's got to just be very patient, try and protect, so it's OK. In the middle area, it's when they start going behind.
Spurs have it in the lily white, heart of midfield, slightly right of centre. Bissouma looks to his left. Here's Joe Lo Celso, back in the Argentine squad recently again. Oh, and a complete miss kick by Pierre-Emile Højbjerg as he got into the penalty area, left-hand side. A big, expansive sweep of the left foot, and he completely missed the ball, but he's on hand again to just cut it back here. But Spurs continue the early pressure. Into the box it goes. Son back out to Højbjerg. Tried a side foot pass to pick out, actually Bissouma hit his own teammate in there, Lo Celso. West Ham looked to clear it away, and as Højbjerg wins it back, the referee's given a free kick against him for the challenge. That was a terrible... that looked like someone picked out a big driver on the first tee and has completely missed the ball.
Well, I've been there on several occasions. The nervous tension, he's thinking, what am I doing in the box, Højbjerg? He tries to flick it across. It's absolutely brilliant. Whenever you get a chance to see it, misses it. The next one, did you see how safe he was? Took his touch and thought, I'm just going to get there. He was unlucky, by the way. Great energy right across the pitch. He didn't think it was a foul.
Only his third league start this season. His last came on November the 11th. Udogie, his foot might just have been a little bit high there in the challenge on Bowen, but then he's pushed by Souček to the ground. It's a free kick, yard in from this near touchline. That's the Spurs left then, and Udogie takes it with the white boots and the orange flash, and back it goes then to Guillermo Vicario, who's a hot tip to be in the Italian squad for the European finals next summer. Has been in their senior squad without making an appearance thus far. And it's rolled away then towards Højbjerg, and he finds Kuliszewski on that left-hand side. Popped up with the dramatic goal at Manchester City in a big switch of play. Picks out Brennan Johnson just on the left-hand corner of the box as West Ham would defend it on their right. Comes back to Johnson by Udogie. Into the penalty area it goes, and Souček has to dig in and get it away. Michael, they're having to dig in here, West Ham.
They are. Sensational play from Spurs. It's wonderful to watch, getting in great areas, want to play forward, the heads are up on the half turn, trying to find any pass that they can be in advanced positions. David Moyes, no wonder he's come to the front of the technical area.
First half of this game live here on Sports Extra. Second half will be on 5 Live at the end of the Everton-Newcastle game. Kuliszewski back to go and rolls it away towards the right-hand side. They are so full of cut and thrust, Tottenham, under Ange Postecoglou, who will not change his beliefs. He said that when they went down to 9 against Liverpool. He said if they went down to 8 or 7, he'd still carry on playing the way he loves to play, as they try to find Kuliszewski in the box, and West Ham United cleared away through Emerson. Tottenham again attacked, a good interchange of passes. Højbjerg has it to Son's feet, just on the edge of the penalty. Pulls it back to Lo Celso. Lo Celso finds Kuliszewski. Steady build-up by Spurs. Here's Romero, back in the side, after his suspension for the sending off against Chelsea. That was the game when they were down to 9, wasn't it? When they had the players sent off, and it's a free kick given away by Pedro Porro. They do need to look at their individual discipline, I think, at times, but especially Romero.
Yeah, they've got to. I mean, the ending to that game, that was as good as I've seen. How brave that they stayed on the line. You could obviously say it was too loose in some ways that they stayed right on that halfway line, but that game changed and they had a hiccup, losing all the players, and look at this now, on the halfway line from a free kick that's going to go over the top of them.
Where goes slightly on an angle, looking for the right-hand side for West Ham United and Jarrod Bowen, but easily dealt with by Tottenham Hotspur. 0-0 it is, just a foot left in there by Souček, caught to Giovanni Lo Celso. The Argentinian goes down, played in the victory against Brazil away, but came on against Uruguay a few days earlier when Argentina lost. He's approaching 50 games for the world champions. He missed the World Cup final, of course, with a hamstring injury. Here's Udogie again, out wide towards the left-hand touchline. Johnson pulls it back to Udogie. A little bit to his right-hand side, 2 or 3 yards away was Højbjerg, and Spurs keep the ball moving at 0-0 on Sports Extra from the BBC. And Romero has it. Now Højbjerg again. Little chip ball on the diagonal way towards Brennan Johnson. Their summer signing from Nottingham Forest. Brings under control. Souček came across to meet him. Bowen cut down on an angle as well, so he came back here towards Højbjerg. Rolls it away to the left-hand side. Tottenham control football. Giovanni Lo Celso. Son comes out to this near side. That's handball, I would think. But it hit Souček from very close range, and I think eventually it has been given, hasn't it? No, it's just a throw in. Well,
to be fair, he couldn't see it. I've got to give the referee the benefit of the doubt there. It was the wrong side. It was a handball. It was played onto his hand, and luckily it just clipped off Bowen, and he didn't have to make the decision. They got it back.
Oh, VAR, of course, it wasn't in the penalty area. VAR can't intervene with that one. Davis into Son. The West Ham fans are blowing bubbles and singing their song, and the Tottenham fans boo that. And Spurs get the ball into the penalty area, the hard-pressed West Ham United penalty area. It's 0-0, approaching 10 minutes. And West Ham United try and relieve that pressure now. The ball crashed away downfield. They're having to do a lot of defending, West Ham United. And Spurs come again, inside right position. Yves Bissouma got stronger and stronger. Took him a while to settle from Brighton. Cross from the right-hand side from West Ham United's point of view, from Spurs' point of view, is eased away just outside the 6-yard area by James Ward-Prowse. Corner ball, Tottenham Hotspur. It's all Spurs here, Michael.
Yeah, it's all Spurs. Wonderful passing. West Ham are hanging on. Good sort of recovery challenge there by Ward-Prowse, and they've got to get some passes, West Ham.
Spurs aware that they've lost their last couple here as they prepare to take this corner kick. Swings away from goal, and the header's in! And Christian Romero celebrates his return to the side. Rose the highest, his header looped and dropped. And beyond the returning goalkeeper, Łukasz Fabianski, and Tottenham Hotspur lead.
Incredible, of all people. He needed to bring it back here, that he'd made those mistakes. He needed a good performance. I never expected him to take the lead. From that corner kick, it swung in, and then he just rises. The header that loops, it's agonising. Past the goalkeeper, Fabianski, down to the right-hand side he goes. It just loops into the far top corner. And the celebrations with the players. What a start for Spurs.
Third of the season, but it's still an opening goal from an unlikely source. Got between the defenders. Could the keeper have done any better there, Michael? Am I being harsh?
Well, you can't, we love football, don't we? We look for a villain, he comes back, he was the one who let them down. And that's just incredible that he goes and gets the goal. And you can see what was good for me is that there's players celebrating with him. He's obviously found it hard, he's had a bit of criticism, but what a way to come back and continue that journey, because he's got such ability.
That's undoubted, but the 4 red cards in his Spurs career count against him. That's the question mark about him as Bowen brings in Sofal and a cross into the middle, and just wide, but the flag is raised. It wouldn't have counted in the end. Kudus got into a good position, siphoned it wide, flag went up.
Sofal getting down that right-hand side, it opened up. The first time they've really gone anywhere. It's a lovely pass, but it's a clear offside, right in the penalty spot. And he just opens his left foot, puts it past the post, but credit to West Ham, they've reacted. It's the first time they've had a couple of passes, but it's a sensational start to the game, like we hoped, like we wanted, and just hope it continues like this.
In terms of acoustics, it's one of the best stadiums I've ever been in as well. It's built for sound. The noise crashes down off the south stand to our right-hand side and away from the 4 tiers on the old shelf stand opposite us, the east stand, and all around as once again the advertising hoardings change colour to a current turquoise and green. They've been red moments ago. Everything about this is futuristic, and Spurs football is fun at the moment, but not if you're a West Ham fan, mind you. Since they became the first visiting team to win a Premier League game at this stadium in April 2019, they're winless in their last 4 visits. They didn't win any of their 6 midweek Premier League games last season, losing the most recent 3. The omens aren't good as they trail 1-0.
It's the referee unsure what to give here. He gives West Ham a free kick. As you see, Wilson just drifting forward. I'm not sure there was much in that one either. You see the unrest with the supporters, but finally West Ham get a couple of passes, move it forward to Kudus, and then just trying to get the other side of him, but Spurs come again.
And clear away to Kulishevsky. They've got a counter on Son through the middle. Away further to the left-hand side is Brennan Johnson. Kulishevsky with a 10-15 yard carry, picks out Johnson. The shot is blocked by Sofal, and Tottenham are running rampant at the moment. They lead 1-0, it might have been 2 there.
Incredible passes down that right, the driving run, Kulishevsky. He picks out Brennan Johnson. I mean, he almost sweeps in that far corner, just a block. You can imagine, you talk about atmosphere there, the noise would have just been remarkable.
5th start in a row for Brennan Johnson. Spurs fans beginning to see the best out of the man who cost £45 million for Nottingham Forest, having starred, of course, for them in the promotion campaign last season, helped keep them up with his 10 goals. But here's a problem for West Ham United. Kudus is coming across towards this near side with his Oh, it's just a boot change, I think.
Yeah, it just looks like his boots come off, but, you know, just going back to Brennan Johnson, watched him come through, know his dad very well, you know, he's guided him along the way, and I wondered how he was going to get in. He had the opportunity to leave Forest earlier, he stays, he waited, and now he's coming to this side. He must be thinking, doesn't get any better.
Spurs lead by a goal to 0 on Sports Extra, and Kulishevsky has it away on that far side from us to the right, draws it back on the diagonal 10 yards away to Hojbjerg, both of them short sleeve shirts, as has Christian Romero. Edge of the penalty area, Porro has crept forward, his attempted shot is just deflected, and therefore the sting is taken out of the shot by Edson Alvarez, and Tottenham lead by a goal to 0, but look capable of scoring more here, Mike.
Yeah, they are. It's just the sheer energy. Once a play, West Ham are caught in between. They're not sure whether to actually come out and press a little bit higher and get into better positions, but they just can't find a way. They just, you know, the extra man, as I've said, because of that, you know, West Ham getting put back with the 3 forwards from Spurs going really high, and Udoghi's the problem. He creates the extra one, so brave.
Davis drives through the middle, right to the core of the West Ham defence. Kulishevsky to Son, went for goal from outside the D, central position, little bit of bend, but straight at Fabianski in the West Ham goal when he had Kulishevsky to his right.
Yeah, it was just underneath him. He possibly could have took it a little bit further on, created a 2v1. And Postecoglou just down beneath us, almost kicking the ball. He sort of went to his knee a little bit, really enjoying it, realising that when you have such control of a football match, you need another one, because you know this West Ham side will come, they will show that desire at 1-0 to stay in the game.
Davis heads it away, once again playing centre-back, Ben Davis, the Welsh international. Good servant for Tottenham Hotspur, been here now 10 years this coming July, and for the first time the Spurs defence under a little bit of pressure. Emerson's attempted driven cross was blocked by Hojbjerg, and it breaks down on Paquetá, who hasn't got into the game at all. Kulishevsky feeds Son 5 yards into his own half, and he bends, not a great ball, away to the left touchline, but Brennan Johnson tracks back and keeps it in. Spurs 1-0 in control of the game, once again begin to wind up a passing movement. Hojbjerg to the right, Kulishevsky, arms bent in classic winger balancing position. I remember seeing Chris Waddle on that left-hand side for Spurs, and Galvin all those years ago, and the great Spurs wide players of yesteryear. Kulishevsky's got a little bit to live up to match them, but a little back heel from him tried to set up Son, and away by Aguerd, who read the situation very well and clear.
You want to watch him now, don't you? Do you know, he straight away tries to do things, that little flick before, here he is again.
He's in the box, Kulishevsky tries to run Emerson, he's got his hands full tonight, but West Ham cleared away through Paquetá, and here's Kudus, who can be a match winner for them in his own right, and he picks out on that left hand side. Paquetá has it, looks for Kudus once again, spins inside his man and takes on Davis and checks out wide to the left. He ran Romero out of position, then Paquetá, his cross into the penalty area, and it's deflected away off Porro, and it'll be a West Ham United corner kick.
Paquetá and Kudus finally getting some momentum. Now they've got that delivery, haven't they? That right foot, set pieces, Ward-Prowse. We know he's got such a good delivery that he can put it anywhere he really wants, and finally West Ham get a little bit of joy.
Everton 0-0 with Newcastle at half-time. 1-0 here to West Ham United, to Tottenham Hotspur, but it's a West Ham United corner kick on the far side from us. Souček so dangerous at set pieces, trying to make a nuisance of himself. Victoria had to come and claw, and a goal kick is given, or a free kick is given.
Well, there's two on the pitch, isn't there? Look, on the other side, referees played on. It's amazing, they're both on one side. One centre-back had the ball one side, one had the other. Tells you how quick they want to play forward.
They now do, thankfully, just have the one ball on the pitch, and Kulishevsky uses it to dart a pass in behind the West Ham United defence, and Aguerd has to get there against Son, who in the opening days of the season I think looked overwhelmed by the captain's armband, but he's settled into his rhythm again. He has his 9 goals, he's an ever-present in the league. He only missed 2 last season, back to his best.
You need your team though, do you know, that's so important for Son. Incredible team player, but when they're not performing, he gets a little bit of it because the stats go down, but in this side now, look at them runs that he's just had.
Tough week for them. Newcastle here at the weekend, then they go to Forest, Everton at home. Tottenham in possession. Look for the left-hand side of the penalty, a roll back by Johnson and scooped with a bit of curl on it by Giovanni Lo Celso, and that wasn't too far away, you know.
Yeah, good work again. You know, when they ring that box, Spurs, they want to move it around and literally always somebody available. This is just a nice setting to Lo Celso. He tries for that curler, but it's like the reverse one right across Fabianski and just wide.
They certainly fancy themselves at Forest here against Everton and here against Bournemouth. But between the Everton and Bournemouth games, a trip to Brighton just after Christmas, and that will be tough. And here's Kulishevsky, square towards the former Brighton player Basuma, who just rolls the ball out of way towards Pedro Porro, the Spanish fullback who loves to attack, as they all do at Spurs. Must be a joy to play in a team like this. Kulishevsky's pressure has forced an error. And now Udogie to Brennan Johnson, left corner of the box, as we look at it, West Ham's right. West Ham trailing 1-0. Comes back out to Johnson, cuts the ball into the penalty area. Udogie had made a run in there, and he pulls it back. Good vision. Højbjerg now, 5 yards of space, square to his right-hand side. Almost plumb dead centre. Lo Celso back towards Davis. Tottenham keeping possession. 10-yard passes, moving the ball swiftly. Little ball round the corner by Son. Back to him, edge of the penalty area. Comes towards Lo Celso. Brilliant intervention in there by Alvarez. And Tottenham have it back again. West Ham United cannot clear the ball over the halfway line as they trail 1-0 with 21 minutes gone. Udogie in the penalty area. Comes to Son after a little deflection. And Alvarez back defending. Did well, and then Zuma left it for his defensive teammate Aged, and West Ham United are struggling here. Tottenham have it. Kulishevsky between the box and the right-hand touchline, wending his way infield. Spurs lead by a goal to 0 through this man Romero. Romero's little pass to the right-hand touchline is returned in towards Bissouma, to Lo Celso. Bissouma, I think, might have been offside even if he tried to play the ball now. Emerson will clear it away. Flag stayed down. And Paqueta has it for West Ham United. Spurs, their football leaves you breathless, but West Ham have got a moment here to rediscover their composure because they have a free kick, Mike.
What about his touch there, Paqueta? Over his head, thinking it's going to go too far, just drops it down. Sensational watch this game is. The Spurs high again, trying to get behind West Ham.
And it's a ball by Sofa that suddenly was in behind the Tottenham defence. Bowen was offside in the middle. But just a reminder that West Ham United, when they break forward on the counter-attack, can be swift and very, very dangerous.
Spurs have just had a scare. They didn't even stop, have a breather, we'll wait. They just literally bomb straight out, push it forward, realise the space is not there, then they circulate it, then they wait. But always thinking, how can we go? How can we turn it round? How can we turn it over into an attack straight away? It's a great mindset. It's infectious. It's dangerous at times, like we've just seen. But wow, what a start! Though we want to see these type of games.
They don't press high, West Ham United. They don't sit back. It's almost like a mid-block, would you call it, Michael?
Yeah, but that's the problem at times here in this. They're neither at the moment because of where Spurs are. They're getting the extra players straight away because they're so comfortable. Two centre-backs stepping forward and then, as I say, wide players on and just giving them that space. But here you go now, finally. West Ham getting a couple of passes, but I think they need more. They need a breather.
Michael, who was here as a Spurs player for a couple of years, of course, in his long career. West Ham United have a throw on the right, and Vladimir Sofar will take it halfway inside the Spurs half, headed away by Davis, and then Højbjerg can't retrieve possession, so Kudus has it. It'll skip to his left, open up an angle to get the cross in, headed away in the middle by Romero, the game's goal scorer, and Spurs will clear their lines now, you think. Bissouma back to the edge of his penalty area. Romero did well, comfortable pass into Udogie, loses possession to Kudus. Kudus lets fly from the edge of the penalty area, may well just have nicked off Ward-Prowse there to take the sting out of the shot, easily pick up for the goalkeeper Vicario.
Yeah, just down to his right. Vicario comfortable, but there's some good pressing, weren't they? Kudus just top of Udogie. I think it's his first mistake really, where he tried to take it on, got caught on it, but again West Ham growing into it.
Tottenham don't get that away very well. Alvarez to the left-hand touchline. Paqueta tried to get it in first time to Bowen and Spurs. Very, very deep, just outside their own penalty area. Again, play out through Romero to Yves Bissouma, 10 yards to his right-hand side. He finds on a diagonal Porro, who drives it through the middle, and Johnson's taken up a good position, and Kulishevsky's to his right, and Kulishevsky went to cut it back to Lo Celso when Son was at the far post. See what he was trying to do. Was it the best option?
Yeah, 100%. Do you know what? That's really good vision. Very unlucky, but look at this.
Spurs press again. So intense. Here's Porro, edge of the box, let's fly. It was dipping, but it was dipping wide as he looked for his first goal for Tottenham Hotspur this season, first since he netted against Leeds back in April, I think it was, and wide it went.
He just tried to slice across it, didn't he? Stepped forward 25 yards out, and it just drifts, sliced it too much, but great energy. Brennan Johnson, Kulusevski driving in. You know, this time it was a great ball, that diagonal pass. Brennan Johnson went right through the middle, and it's hard to mark that.
Spurs without a win in 4 league games after a 10-match unbeaten league start. As they look for Son through the middle, won't have too much zip on it all the way through from Porro, who's such a front foot right fullback. He looks for a forward pass whenever he can. That's handball surely by Kulishevsky. And Ward-Prowse races 10 yards to say to the referee, should that not have been a yellow card, which in itself we're led to believe is a yellow card offence. He put his arm down on it, it's handball, but just get on with it, really.
Very lenient from you, that. Maybe I'd have asked the question as well when the arm went a bit further down, but it could have been a promising attack.
As long as he's consistent. Now here's Johnson into the penalty area, and out comes Fabianski to come and clutch and save in his 473rd club game of a long career. I think that's the big thing. See, yesterday I was talking about John Brooks earlier on, the referee. Yesterday at Villa Park, he was so consistent with his allowance of more physicality. I enjoy that. I enjoy that.
I think you're looking to me. I think that's a pretty obvious that. I enjoyed that type of thing. Do you know, I think these players as well, and I know they'll stay down and ask the question, but really they want that continuity. They want to keep it going, unless it's a dangerous one, yeah, but play on wherever we can. Keep this ball going. Talk about ball in play, talk about excitement. These first 27 minutes have been absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant on Sports Extra. Spurs lead it 1-0, but here's so far, can he get a cross in? And Udogie got back with a fantastic slithering, sliding challenge and forces the goal kick. He's some prospect, this 20-year-old Italian international.
He looks really good. Big tackle. He got that look as well, that ricochet. And there you go, Zuma coming in, thinking I've had enough. Lo Celso, I'm going to go tight. Referee straight on hand, just a warning. Spurs straight away off, pushing it forward, moving the ball. We need another goal for all this.
Lo Celso spins the ball beautifully into the path of Johnson, but his low cross attempting to find Son is cut out by Souček, and it's offside anyway. On that opening day of the season, I was at Brentford when Spurs drew 2-2. It was a bit of a muddled, crazy game that was, and Udogie just stood out. You know, it was the first time I'd seen him.
For me, just for this game, watched him obviously several times, but within the first second he just got the ball and thought, right, I'm going to go. It was slightly dangerous, he didn't mind, he's off and running. Next time he gets it, he gets in behind people, and you get that confidence straight away.
First time free kick from the goalkeeper, played out, Kulishevsky halfway line, intercepts, swaps passes with Højbjerg into the penalty area. Brilliant check back, he's had a fine night, Kulishevsky. Porro arrives in support. West Ham United are having to work so hard just to keep some sort of toehold in the game. Here's Bissouma. Now Porro will look to chip it to the left side of the penalty area. Brennan Johnson heads down. Back to intercept was Souček. West Ham United had 8 claret and blue shirts back inside their penalty area then, and they've all held very, very deep. Tottenham have it left-hand touchline, leading 1-0 in the 30th minute. Højbjerg misplaces his pass infield though, and now here's Bowen. West Ham United at 1-0 down, still very much in the game, and Ward-Prowse switches it away to Paqueta. It is being played at such a thrilling pace. Paqueta, first touch was heavy, and in swept Romero with the challenge for Spurs to clear the line. West Ham have it once again on the right touchline, where Ward-Prowse swaps passes with Sofar. Back it goes to Soucek, again short sleeve shirt into the heart of midfield, where it's edged out first of all by Alvarez back to his centre back, and then Aguerd finds Emerson. Into the Tottenham half he goes, beyond the offside trap. Kudus is into the penalty area. The flag stayed down initially and then goes up because he was clearly offside as he shot wide anyway.
Well, we all got excited that we were going to see another goal, but we had a really good shot of it, didn't we? Just waiting for that flag. It's quite a comfortable one for the assistant referee, but great determination from West Ham, trying to run behind, forward runs from the left back situations, and well, they needed it because they've been really under pressure. But you just talk about them not being in it though, but for David Moyes and this side, I think, you know what, 1-0, we're okay. It's if it gets further.
They've won 3 away matches in this season's Premier League, as many as they won in the whole of last season, West Ham United. After this they have Fulham away on Sunday, then Freiburg at home to complete the European group stage, already through, then Wolves at home, Liverpool away in the Carabao, and then they're into the Christmas fixtures. And you throw to West Ham United, the pace maybe just have momentarily calmed a little bit. Horrible night weather-wise, cold, wet, rain sweeping around the stadium as you look up away to the left-hand side to this elliptical roof. It really is a wonderful place to watch your football. And when I was doing the preparation for the European Championship draw for the BBC last week, I looked at those German stadia for Euro 24. They're unbelievable as a group of stadia as well. And here's Emerson for West Ham United, looking down that left-hand side, looking for Paqueta to try and spin his way in inside Højbjerg. And back from Romero. And yet, with all the big stadia coming along, I shall shed a tear when Goodison eventually goes. I think season after next. Connection to 66, an old, proper old school ground. You got a favourite old school ground?
Yeah, I do like Everton. Impressive when you go. It's a really tight commentary position though, but a wonderful stadium. Always like Newcastle. I don't know why that is.
I don't work on the high gantry at Goodison anymore. If it was a frozen night and I slipped off that stand and fell, I'd take out about 55 people below, I think. Now they've got a problem for West Ham. Paqueta's gone down and he's holding what? The outside of his calf, his left calf. No one around him. Previous run perhaps, maybe he's just pulled something there, but he's down, needs a bit of treatment, and the message has gone back to the dugout straight away. It's not been their night, Michael.
No, they are concerned about it. A lot of movement, activity. Do you know what they could do with just a few minutes just to wait, regroup, give the coaching staff a little bit of time to think about it. They won't really want to change personnel, that's for certain at this stage, and it looks like that's heading their way. But you know what, for all the play Tottenham have had, West Ham have had a couple of opportunities. They've tried to get forward wherever possible. There's still every chance of getting back into this game, so they won't be too disappointed at this moment in time. But for Spurs' perspective, so dominant, great energy, wonderful forward runs and flair, little flicks round corners. They really needed to get another one.
Well, he has his sock rolled down momentarily. They've now tucking his socks up. They have Pablo Fornals going through the initial stages of getting ready, but I think he's going to be okay now. Paqueta,
he's probably in shock. He's been spun round that much, ran back the other way. Porro, where's he gone? Because he's gone inside, he's gone everywhere, he's come forward, but they're not in too bad shape, West Ham, for everything like we've said of this Spurs side.
Might be now though. Chelsea carried away by Fabianski from just inside the box. He had lots of space there. Lo Celso couldn't make it count.
It's looking now they're just trying to play out, trying to get on the ball. Paqueta just shaking that leg, wondering whether he can continue.
So check back to his goalkeeper Fabianski, who clears it away. Areola out of the side with a wrist injury. Paqueta now back onto the field of play, just shaking his leg there like a dog that comes away from the tree having had a wee, if you get that mental picture in your mind. Are we allowed to say that on Sports Extra? Apparently not, but anyway, there you go, it's already done.
I think you'll find out.
Well, there's a ping, I think that's an email from the director channel.
The reception's not working, it's okay, we'll find out later.
Now, Spurs have it, centre circle, Ben Davies, 400 odd games for Spurs now, in his career I should say, over 300 for Tottenham Hotspur, from Swansea of course, Swansea fan has it. Owens Romero, and then the square back to Davies again.
So you just look at them now, the three in front of the back four, then you've got Bowen, Paqueta just go narrow, Kudus all the way back as well. They're just trying to fill the space, wait, be patient, but it is dangerous. The supporters will want a little bit more, and you can understand it, but let's see how they end up.
Still in the game, 1-0 down of course, 10 minutes to go in the first half. And Tottenham Hotspur's goal scorer Christian Romero brings that fourth goal for Spurs, third this season, ninth in his entire club career. Lo Celso started 3 games in a row now for Spurs. Lo Celso on loan for the last couple of years to Villarreal, given his chance under Ange Postecoglou. Kulishevsky between the penalty box and the right hand touchline to run Emerson, who's had a hard night getting to grips with Kulishevsky. Little scoop ball into the box, chested down by Souček, played out by Bowen, but it comes straight back for Tottenham Hotspur into the penalty area. Tight angle to get a shot with any accuracy and power. Brennan Johnson got the accuracy but no power, straight at Fabianski.
Yeah, it was a good run on the turn, those runs in behind, tried to slide it, but he points, he waits, just a little touch, he needs to wait a touch longer, try and use power, but he doesn't. Let's get another glimpse of Celso's effort as well. The save from Fabianski.
Paqueta just got involved there for West Ham United, but he wasn't running freely. He's available now to receive a pass from Goodis. Had a look away towards the left hand side, see if he can get the ball out to Emerson. Has it back again, that pass is away, available to the left hand touchline. Comes right though, and Ward-Prowse now for West Ham United towards Sofal. Had to get in there quickly, looked for Bowen in the box, and Vicario came and clawed it away. It's going to be a goal kick as Udogie handed it off so far.
So the overload was there on the right hand side. Ward-Prowse just puts it out to Sofal, and as he plays that ball in, I never felt like they had enough numbers in the box for him to play it wait, but strange decision from Vicario, the punch.
Oh, that's a mistake by Højbjerg. West Ham have it just outside the Spurs penalty, left hand side. Bowen tries to chop across back into the middle, deflected, looped up. Vicario came, more positive goalkeeping there as he rolls it out to Destiny Udogie, and from him it goes back to Ben Davies. Now Bissouma, side foot, right foot. Bissouma wearing gloves against the winter chill. Højbjerg out wide towards the right hand touchline. Kulishevsky has it to run Emerson. Rolls it back outside the penalty. Højbjerg arriving, little gibbon guy, he ran straight into his man. He ran into Edson Alvarez. And West Ham United will now look to counter-attack. It is all action this game in the first half. 38 minutes gone, Spurs lead it by a goal to nil. Emerson loses possession, needs to get back here because Spurs are straight at them. Agger has to come across on the angle and get the block challenge in on Kulishevsky. Corner kick.
Again, the pressure from Spurs. As soon as it turns over, Romero, the one who starts it off, into Son, then there's a set. They all get in and around it, play and follow. It's brilliant to see how they want it, do it so quickly, and set pieces now. What are West Ham going to do? Romero just drifts in. There's the last one just walking. Someone going to pick him up, but they're going to stay zonal across the 6 yard.
Comes out to Lo Celso, he might have a hit. Nearly comes out to him, but it dropped just the other way towards the right hand side. Kulishevsky nods to the right touchline and then makes a darting run to the right to open up a gap to Bissouma. There's Lo Celso to roll it towards the goal, in comes across, Fabianski comes and punches, Kulishevsky blocked in there, Bissouma, edge of the penalty area, shoots over the bar, stays 1-0.
Wow, more chances yet again from Spurs, from that deep corner coming in, and then everybody on the edge. You see a big punch from Fabianski. Kulishevsky tries to get his left foot working, and then just a little turn on the edge, and just shoots over from a little Cruyff turn. Bissouma involved.
Goal scoring is not his forte. Yet to score for Spurs, didn't score for Brighton Hove Albion too many times. Seem to remember him getting a few for Lille. His last goal came in April of 22, I think it was. His now Tottenham Hotspur's Lo Celso, left-hand side, 10 yards in from the left touchline, halfway inside the West Ham half, draws it back again towards Bissouma. Bissouma to his right finds Højbjerg 10 yards away. Central midfield double act for Tottenham Hotspur tonight. 4 minutes to go. They lead by a goal to nil. Bissouma tries to push West Ham United back towards their own penalty area. Has it back again. Short sleeve shirt, gloves on. Weird combination that. Has it back once again though. And towards the edge of the penalty area, it's easily blocked. It wasn't a good ball forward, and then as he comes to pick up the loose ball, he crashes into Kudus. Free kick West Ham.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Lo Celso picks it up, runs to the referee and says he's the ball, you know, like hands it to him. I don't know why he does that. Bissouma tries to go tight. There's a little bit of contact, a little bit of the ball as well. Michael Salisbury decides it's definitely a foul. Big diagonal free kick for West Ham to Paqueta on that left-hand side. The West Ham fans in the far corner of the ground make their voices heard. Our commentary box, if you look at the Tottenham Stadium, is a big clock face. We're at about 5:30 in the morning. They're away at about 10 o'clock, away on the far side, as Kudus has possession. Finding Paqueta, can't impact. He's coming back from an offside position, knows that the ball trickles away to the far side. I don't think he's right, Paqueta, Michael. Yeah, well, he's not. Normally you want him on the ball. You know how good he is, what he can create. Just watching him now, he's just had a little jog back. He couldn't get that anyway, but he didn't get back quick enough.
And Spurs counter with Johnson halfway inside the West Ham half, coming in off the left-hand touchline. He's already on the left corner of the box. Johnson cuts the cross into the middle. Agad, well positioned, clears away for West Ham United. What a good signing Naif Agad has been from Rennes in the summer of 2022 for 30 million. It's a free kick. Even against Destiny Udoka. Listen to the Spurs fans how, as he fouled so foul. It's a free kick for West Ham.
Looking Postecoglou, he's going crazy down there, and then when I see it back, I thought it was just strength, but there is a push into the back. The referee spot on. I've never always agreed with them, the referees, but on this occasion he's right on top of it.
And Doggy wearing the white body armour underneath his lily white of Tottenham. As the ball is swept away by big Kurt Zouma out towards the left-hand touchline. Halfway inside the Spurs half. Paqueta, good touch to bring it down first time. Ward-Prowse tracking back towards his own half. Releases now to Souček, and there's the ball out wide to his Czech Republic international colleague Sofal, and Kudus is too strong there. It's gone into the box. No free kick for the challenge of Davis. Across the far post. Paqueta's header is wide, and that's a big chance for West Ham and their best of the game.
Kudus just uses that strength, low centre of gravity, just nudging Davies off. It turns, puts the ball right to the back post, and he's there, isn't he? Paqueta just waiting to head it, but he tries to use power. It just looks so uncomfortable. It just skidded off, went way wide of the post. That's a huge chance. David Moyes' reaction, that tells you everything.
The first thing he did, having had it wide, Paqueta felt down, put his hand down, felt the back of his calf.
If it was on his calf, you'd always say okay, but I think his head would have been okay.
Here's Bissouma.
It was so awkward, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
What a chance, though.
It's sort of a stooping header, but not convincing in the way he stooped, certainly not the way he caught it. And now Spurs on the attack again. Right-hand corner of the penalty area, Pedro Porro. Can they get the cross in here? Kulishevsky to Bissouma, back again towards Dejan Kulishevsky. And again, It's Agger, well positioned for West Ham to crash it away towards that far side. We're coming up towards half-time. I would guesstimate, and it's only a guesstimate, I don't think we've had a booking, Michael. We've had the goal, I would maybe 2 minutes. It's been no time wasting. They've been at it whiz-bang right from the start.
It's an excellent guess, because I've just checked something. There it is, look at that.
What was it? 2 minutes?
You've done this job for a while, haven't you?
A little while.
Just a touch.
Now here's a good ball away towards Johnson. Johnson attacking the penalty area, dragged his shot, scuffed his shot straight towards Fabianski. Had every right to go for goal, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, for sure, but he just hesitated, didn't really get any sort of backlift, any power in the shot. He showed real glimpses of quality, but he's got to do better.
Here's Lo Celso, given away initially by West Ham. He tried to angle it into the box to Dejan and Kulusevski, and it's trickled away through for a West Ham United corner kick. They will be mighty relieved as we enter the second minute of stoppage time any moment now. They'll be mighty relieved to get in, won't they?
I think that's the point. David Moyes will say, listen, we need to do this better, that better. It could have been a lot worse, but now we've seen what they have. We'll have a few little adjustments. We'll try and fill a few spaces. You might allow the full-backs to get a touch higher, make, obviously, Brennan Johnson, Kulusevski run the other way. Will they go with them? And on that occasion, but, you look and you say, it's OK, it's not too bad.
Up towards Paqueta, misjudged it in the air, so too behind him did Porro, who keeps it in for Spurs and angles it back then to the goal scorer, Christian Romero. They lead 1-0. Released to Basuma, crosses the halfway line, got away from his man. Alvarez there, finds Kulusevski on the right-hand touchline. Kulusevski into Basuma, little back heel to Kulusevski. Rode a challenge to the edge of the D. Can he release? Does release. Lo Celso into the middle, and Zuma pile drives it away for a corner kick off the stanchion of the West Ham goal. Could have been an own goal, it's a corner.
What a move. Kulusevski just waits, driving forward. Lo Celso waits, lovely ball across. That's top defending that, and I know he gets a little bit of luck off that shin, and it hits that, actually, the Barkham post right on the corner of it as it goes away, and it's a big let off, but great defending.
Indeed it was. Angle of bar and post there. Could initially have been the stanchion, but it was closer than that. In comes the corner kick. It's aimed towards Romero. Did get something on it, got between defenders, headed over. The half-time whistle blows. It's Romero's goal, Michael, that separates the sides after a blustering first 45 minutes.
That was an incredible first half of football like we've ever seen. The intensity, the desire, determinations to play quickly, whether it's a goal kick, whether it's a throw-in, whether to spot it down, whether under pressure. That was a joy to watch from Spurs. West Ham had to consolidate, they had to wait, be patient, and it could have been a lot worse for them. They showed glimpses going forward, West Ham, but they've had a couple of opportunities, but they've got to improve in the second half. From a Spurs perspective, they'll feel really disappointed. They haven't got the second goal, even the third goal, to try and see the points given to them, but it's wasted at this moment in time. But again, as expected, a wonderful first half of football here.
Tottenham Hotspur with 13 efforts, one of them from a West Ham player, Zuma, right at the end of the half. His header hit the post and bar, but from the first effort they had on target, Romero put them ahead. They lead by a goal to nil. Kudus has produced an easy save out of Vicario, and Paqueta had a chance wide. He doesn't look right to me. Looks as if he's picked up an injury. We'll wait and see. Half-time here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's 1-0 Spurs. We'll be back with you shortly for second half commentary. Now, in the meantime, it's another chance to listen to Newcastle defender Dan Burn, who was on this week's Monday Night Club on 5 Live with Mark Chapman, Rory Smith and Chris Sutton, and he recalled joining Newcastle last January.
I've played in teams like that before who have been struggling for relegation. I feel like everyone goes into self-defence mode, and it's more like, it's not my fault, it's theirs. Like, they're very quick to sort of pass the blame on other people. But when I got there, it was even like, you tend to see like the lads who are on the bench, like, not, I wouldn't say poisonous is the word, but as in like, they're like, well, you're not winning and I'm not playing, so why aren't I playing? And they're a little bit bitter. But when I got there, it was sort of just how much everyone got behind each other at the games. You had people like Matty Ritchie, who maybe hadn't played as many games as he would have, getting people going for the games. Jacob Murphy, he's playing obviously a lot more now. Like John Joe, who I'd never played with John Joe, but I always thought he was quite quiet and stuff, but he was quite vocal in the change room. So I looked around and thought, we stand a chance here. If we can start picking up results quickly, this could snowball. So it was a big thing when I got there. I thought we do stand a chance.
Did you feel it building through the second half of that season, that sense that, all right, things were starting to click? Did you kind of see a direct link between like the mood and the results?
Yeah, I think so as well. And I don't think it was as much that first season about the way we played. Like, that didn't matter. It was just about being hard to beat, like playing to what our strengths were. And like, it was more as well, like the gaffer was very good, like we're building a connection with each other in the city, and everyone sort of got behind it. So like, you could see how quickly it was happening.
On Saturday night against Manchester United, it was the same team that had played against Paris Saint-Germain. But even if it hadn't been the same personality, it goes back to what you were talking about in training. There is now a Newcastle way of doing things. Definitely. And a style of doing things. And are you at the stage where you do obviously take into account what opponents are going to do, but they need to worry about you more than you worry about them?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you've got a way that you want to play and you know it works and your players buy into it, I think that has got to be sort of your first thing. Anyway, you've got to attack that team the way that you feel like to do it, and you sort of react however that happens. Like, I've hated like playing under managers in the past where you just feel as if you're setting up not to get beat rather than to go out and actually win the game. And I think the big thing for this year is that last year I feel as if we were a bit of a surprise because we changed the way that we played from that first sort of half season I was there. It was the same way that we play now, but we had more of the surprise factor then because people hadn't seen it, whereas this season we seem to be sort of continuing to do that and like be successful with it.
What are the words that Eddie uses to define his style, like what he wants? What are the kind of consistent messages that he gives you? So
like, big one was intensity is our identity, so that was a big thing. Like, off the ball, everything's done. It's sort of 100 miles an hour, whatever you want to do. I think like the patterns that we use, like if you watch the games you can see them because they happen, but because they're drilled into it, I've spoken about before, they're drilled into it so well you don't even think about it. They just sort of happen constantly. Like, players will come in. I think you looked at the City game we played in the Cup where we changed a lot of players because it's normally not a picked starting 11, but there's a few changes here and there. But even to do that, and the lads still performed exactly how the gaffer would want them to perform against a team like City. I just think showing it, like, I felt bad for some of the lads who were here before maybe the takeover happened, and when the gaffer wasn't here, because they sort of just got like, oh, they can't do it, like they're not good enough to play and do this. And the lads are coming in now, like people like Jamal Lascelles, like, who's coming in, and he's been like unbelievable since he's come in to fill a hole that Sven's left to do it. Like Jacob Murphy's coming in and like consistently performing at that level and doing it. So I'm just sort of really happy for him.
And tell us about the days after the Bournemouth defeat, where the team looked absolutely out on the feet, didn't they? And there was that sort of moment with Kieran Trippier and and a supporter. What were the manager's words in the? I mean, it was 2 weeks at the international break, But what I mean, there would have been no reason to panic. But there was then all the talk about this squad is being stretched, a lot of injuries. How are they going to cope? How did sort of the manager handle that situation going into the Chelsea game?
Yeah, I think that's probably the one game that you'd look at. Probably that, and maybe the Brighton game away, where you'd look and say that's not a performance that represents us. I think he said, like, looking at that game, he couldn't say that was sort of his team on that pitch if he was looking at it. So I think it was probably just reflecting on it and then going again. I feel like he's quite good at when things are going against, with like sort of like using that as motivation to sort of push what on. So like setting a challenge. I know like how many injuries we've had, and but I don't think he's made a particularly huge thing of it, like saying that we've sat and sort of felt sorry for ourselves. It's more where the lads that are here that are good enough to do what we need to do. So I feel it is like it gets people behind them and gets the lads in like that positive thing that they can go again and get a result. And obviously 3 results in a week against like very, very good teams obviously just reinforce that. That is something that's been said outside Newcastle a lot this season, is that because of the style of play, the intensity you play at, and the Champions League, that you do have that kind of that double schedule, or you'll have 2 spells of it over the course of the season. Yeah. Is that fair? Do you recognise that? Like, has it felt harder? Yeah, I think mentally it's definitely felt hard. I think that first international break we had, like, I took time away and went with the family, and I felt as if I'd played like a full season. Mentally, it's just like the lads who are at the very top, like people like Harry Kane, that who play like Champions League, World Cup, like Champions League all season, Euros. Like, I honestly, like, it's unbelievable, like genuinely unbelievable that like they've got the mental capacity to do that constantly. It must just become second nature, obviously.
In what way, like the
But just
ability
like
to tolerate the stress of it?
Yeah, like, and just like there isn't time to recover, really. Do you know what I mean? Normally, like, you play a game and then you would, like, Monday you would build back up to it. You've got time to switch off, but it isn't. You're sort of like, we're playing on a Saturday night. Sunday you're coming in to do recovery. Monday you were flying to Milan. Playing Milan on the Tuesday, you were coming back. Wednesday, like, you were coming in for recovery, and then you would play another big team at the weekend. It's like not having that time where, like, you can switch off at all. It's constant. So, but it again, we wanted that, so you can't complain about it because we've always wanted Champions League football. So I'm not saying it's a negative thing. I'm just saying, like, I find it, like, amazing that the lads do that and probably don't get the respect for it. Like, we're taught all the time that players play too much, and then we don't really, like, probably take it that seriously as we do. But it's, like, genuinely amazing that they can do that.
I just want to ask you about Anthony Gordon, who has had a phenomenal start to the season. What change did you notice in the summer with him, if indeed there was a change? Do you think he actually... I can remember being at a League Cup game. Who did you play in the quarterfinals? Leicester, maybe? And I think he'd just signed. And the atmosphere was unbelievable that night for a League Cup quarter-final. And he was in the stands, sort of wide-eyed with a Newcastle scarf around him. He got introduced to the fans, I think, that night. And it was like, wow. And I wonder whether he just needed 6 months last season to get used to the nothing disrespect to Everton, but to the enormity of it.
Yeah, I think so. I think I've said this before when I've been on here. I don't think I'd say this not because I think we're the best team ever. I just think it's hard to come and play into this team straight away. I think, like, you need to know your role completely so that a manager trusts you before you'll play. And I did think it probably took a little bit of time. You saw, like, glimpses of him from, like, sort of January building up, and I think just that Euros did wonders for him. Like, building, like, he's a confident lad anyway, don't get us wrong, but, like, just probably adding to the fact of all that, and coming back in pre-season, he was, like, on fire. Like, he was so fit when he come back, and yeah, just probably grasping what the manager wanted for him more, and now, like, he's got direction in everything that he does. And, like, I think, like, I've read something the other day, had, like, the most tackles for our team so far this season, which, like, I'm surprised at, but when you watch him play, like, it's not that surprising, really.
What type of character is he? Because saw him at Everton, and he did well, at Everton, and then there was the fallout with the move and whatever. I can't work out whether he's an introvert or an extrovert. What type of lad is he?
Yeah, I think my probably opinion was different of him when he played for Everton than when he was us, because the way that you see him on the pitch, I wouldn't say, like, he's confident. He's a confident lad when you play against him, but you see he's very, very focused on training. He's always in the gym doing extras. He's always wanting to do that. That's what I don't think people probably see that from him on the outside. And I think everything that he's getting from this season is from everything that he's put into it. You know what I mean? It's no mistake in that all the effort he's doing in training and running and gym work is paying off.
Dan Burn, it's a fascinating story, the Dan Burn story, because he was initially released by Newcastle United. Great hero in life is Alan Shearer, who's here tonight actually working for the telly, and then to get the chance to go back to Newcastle, and Brighton paved the way. They would have loved to have kept him, but it's his boyhood club. Off he went there, and he's done startlingly well, hasn't he, Dan Burn? You look at him and think, how can he be a successful footballer in this day and age? But he's just defied logic so many times. He's been terrific for them.
Yeah, he has incredible sort of personality as well. Team player, to do everything correct, and that's a sensational rise of a footballer, isn't he? He does certain positions, that he's took on the football field. You're thinking he's not going to be able to do it, and he has. And what a fantastic season, fantastic club now, how they're developing. And like you say, Alan Shearer, he's saying so many good things about him as well.
His Newcastle United are trailing at Everton by 1-0, I can tell you. McNeil Powers scored with 11 minutes to go there. It'll mean that Newcastle still on 26 points. Tottenham will be above them in the table and just below Manchester City on goal difference outside the top four if it stays like this. 1-0, and to be honest, Michael, there's no evidence is there to suggest that though West Ham United are still in the game at 1-0 in terms of the scoreline, that they will come through here and win on what we've seen in the first half. Tottenham look relatively secure, don't they?
They look secure, but you know, I don't ever right off this West Ham side. There's been times where they'll just sit and accept that they're not in the game away from home. They'll just keep forward. They've got great attacking players who can score goals, and they just know how to do it. They can maybe go a little bit more direct. They'll leave holes, and so they won't be too bothered with this at this moment in time. At 1-0, they'll want to play better. They'll want to create a touch more for sure. But the manager probably fully aware of what was going to come their way. He would have probably expected more control than his side have had. They've had a couple of opportunities, and they probably rode the luck, that's for certain. But in there, I think he'd be quietly saying to them, listen, don't worry about it too much. How do we play through it? What's next from us? And though they're still there. Listen, if Spurs continue, and the law of averages is saying that they're going to go on and win comfortably if they can do it.
Well, I remember being here as it was the White Hart Lane ground, as it was called in those days, of course, and seeing Anton Ferdinand get a very, very late equalising goal for West Ham United in another gripping game between the two sides. It always has meaning, Tottenham against West Ham United, and Tottenham, of course, know they need a victory here, having lost against Aston Villa, having lost against Chelsea when they went toe-to-toe, even when they had the players sent off, and after the draw against Manchester City, when anything could have happened there without a win in 4. So they need a victory to get things underway again. But it wasn't so long ago, as they come out for the second half here, Michael, it wasn't so long ago, a matter of weeks really, but that people were saying Tottenham genuine title contenders. Things change in football so quickly.
Yeah, it changes, but there'll still be people who are thinking, look at the Premier League title at the moment, how wide open it is, and they win today. Look at the difference in the table. The pressure's on. Obviously, Arsenal are the front runners. They found some late results of late, and it doesn't get any better. And they'll say, why not? Others have gone on and done it. Look, when we get all these players back, we'll be able to strengthen. We'll understand the manager a little bit more throughout the season, and we'll get more confident. I mean, they just have to understand, don't they, when they do it, when it's too much, when they keep going forward, and it's just defensively at times, the way they go, they can catch.
I wonder if they do go clear tonight, Tottenham Hotspur, of West Ham United, whether Ange Postecoglou will give youth its head on the bench. He has Jamie Donnelly, has Alfie Dorrington there as well. Donnelly, young forward, Dorrington, young centre-back, and just bleed youngsters through into the first team picture as the season goes on, because injuries have blighted them. And off we go in the second half. West Ham United in the claret and blue, trailing 1-0, kicking from right to left, away from the big south stand, the lower tier of the east stand opposite us, around about a third full at the moment, as people come back from their half-time cup of tea or whatever it is in the grounds these days, champagne probably, I don't know. Anyway, Tottenham have it away on the far side. I don't think they have Bovril anymore, do they, which was my chosen.
Oh, you've got to. He's still going for me.
Is it? Paqueta, a little layoff for West Ham United on the edge of the Spurs penalty. West Ham has started the second half brightly. Ward-Prowse comes across from Everson, and it's blocked, and Kulishevsky back defending, nudges it then to Romero, whose goal separates the side. He drilled the clearance away. Porro got something on it, and Kulishevsky's given it away. This is a tenacious start by West Ham.
Yeah, good start. Spurs just a little bit slow in possession.
And West Ham push between the penalty area and the left-hand touchline. Paqueta rolls it inside. Ward-Prowse tried to cut a reverse pass back to him, when he actually, I don't think he realised Basuma was 2 or 3 yards too deep of him. Ward-Prowse could have got a shot away on the spin. Zuma with a high touch to bring it under control, and rolls it away towards the far side. And under pressure there so far, couldn't keep possession. Spurs look for Son, edge of the penalty area, creeping goal side of Zuma, tried to roll it square to Kulishevsky. Zuma got across and blocked it. Opportunity for Tottenham gone.
That was a lovely touch from Son. He just kills it, turns quickly, stands, faces forward, tries to play a pass, has the awareness, it just gets blocked. But from just as West Ham were getting somewhere, Spurs step forward into spaces, forward passes, good runs, the timing of the runs, the pace of the runs, that's why they get in.
Corner kick for Tottenham Hotspur, first of the second half. I think it's the fourth they've had in the game. Taken on that far side, then Son on the edge of the 6-yard area. In it comes low and flat, disappointing. So Foul gets it away. Højbjerg's header away towards that far left-hand touchline where they play, and Giovanni Lo Celso. In comes his little dinked cross, headed away by Souček. Udogi on the edge of the penalty area, finds Romero, and back it goes to Højbjerg on an angle from right to left. He finds that left-hand touchline, in they come off that line. Johnson tries a bending effort, and zipped just over the bar. It was Porro, I beg your pardon, just bent the shot a fraction too hard, but it was a great effort.
Yeah, good. Again, good connection. Plays gives and go. I thought he was going to cross it, but he wants to get on that right foot, outside of the foot, play follow, tries for that sensational curler right into that far corner, but yeah, just not good enough. But just goes back, Porro over to his position, and he seems to be having the better on this side, because the guy on the ball now, Qatar's got so much ability, but whether that knocks just not letting him get involved.
Everton lead Newcastle by 2-0 now. Bridge too far for Newcastle. They've had to play virtually the same 10-11 in the last 3 or 4 games, and they trail by 2-0. Everton's points tally this season, forget the 10 points that have been deducted, is decent, and if that points deduction is halved or wiped out completely, they'll be in a decent position if they maintain their current form. And they're winning against Newcastle 2-0. Big night for them. Paqueta for West Ham United, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Bowen tried to whisk it away from Udogan, get a cross in, and eventually he's running out, and it's going to be a throw-in for Spurs deep inside their own half. There's a man blocking my view. I can't see the throw-in. Tell Alan Shearer to sit down there, will you, Michael?
You tell him.
Oi, Shearer. No. Going to be a throw-in in the right full-back position.
It was a good battle there, though.
Yeah.
Basuma, Jared Bowen, really good from the pair of them. Then it changed hands again, and then they were at each other and just went out. West Ham finally getting a couple of passes, trying to progress. They're doing it a little bit quicker than they did in the first half.
It's a good ball by Zuma, away towards the right-hand touchline, and so far into the box here, and a chance for Kudus to maybe do something. Back to goal, being forced out wide by Davis. Good defending, well played Spurs, and it was effortless in the way they get it away to Lo Celso, deep in his own half, left-hand side, to the fullback Udogie, who's been pressurised there unfairly by so far.
What a game he's having.
Yeah, it's going to be a free kick.
Unbelievable, isn't he?
So strong.
He's literally playing so well. Every touch, he's on the floor, he's still coming out with it. He's having one of those days where things are going so well.
Still hasn't played 100 games in his career, Destiny Udogie, and he's playing so well tonight. Johnson for Spurs on the left-hand side. Now it's Højbjerg. Bissouma. Dark boots Bissouma, gloves on. Højbjerg to Kulusevski. Temperature's risen actually as the evening has gone on. I think the rain has stopped now. Son to the edge of the D, gets it back again from Lo Celso, floats the cross far side. Johnson a set up header, it hit so fell on the arm was low. Spurs appeal for a penalty, not for me, not from first check. I thought his arm was low down by his side.
It was next to him, but he looked a little bit guilty, or he looked dead assured. Which one ever we'll soon see, but can wait on that check.
Trouble is, players aren't sure anymore, are they, with the interpretation of the handball law. Paqueta now for West Ham United, spins the ball outside of his foot. A little bit of extravagant skill that didn't come off for him, and Romero nudges to the right of the West Ham United penalty area and finds Kulusevski for Spurs. Back to Romero again. Basuma's right on top of him. Son just ahead of him. West Ham United with plenty of defenders back there. 7 in claret and blue in that penalty area. Kulusevski from a standing start tried to go up through the gears against Emerson, who read it, and will now force the throw in off the sliding Spurs captain Son Heung-min. It is being checked here for the handball, and was checked, and go on.
Outside of the top of the shoulder sort of thing, was it? Top of the arm stroke, lower shoulder.
Now Bowen to Mohamed Kudus. West Ham look purposeful. The shot is ricocheted to Bowen. It's 1-1. The shot from Kudus ricocheted horribly off the defender, Spurs defender, to Jared Bowen, and out of absolutely nothing, Bowen gets yet another away goal. He's scored in 7 Premier League away appearances this season now. In each game he's played away from home, and it's Tottenham 1, West Ham 1.
We've not even seen the West Ham supporters, but we have now right in front of them on that right hand side. It was Kudus who tries to get his shot away, it ricochets, and Bowen didn't even see it. Straight away You know that instinct. He pounces, he waits, he just puts it right into the roof of the net. Brilliant, clinical finish. And West Ham, as we said, as long as it's 1-0, they have an opportunity. He's getting another look. It's just a shot, the ricochet, it's good. It's very fortunate how it goes into his path, but a lovely finish into that top corner, right, and to those supporters as he just drifts into them. It's a wonderful finish.
The good shot was blocked by Romero, I do believe, and went square to Bowen, who reacted as the ball came to his feet and hammered it past the goalkeeper, Vicario. 1-1, game on. And don't rule out West Ham United. They may not keep clean sheets away from home, but they've scored in each one of their last 9 in a row in the league now. And a great atmosphere in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Could go either way now. Kudus back to goal, doesn't have to play it because it's a West Ham United throw. Michael, what a situation we have here now.
Yeah, you asked me the question, and I did think they have dangerous players who will commit more. They have been a little bit quicker, haven't they? JP just going into better areas, the forward diagonal passes and trying to get shots away in those positions, and then Bowen finally gets that bit of space. He didn't even see it coming, to be fair to him, but once it was there, steps on, some lovely finish into the roof.
Here's Son for Tottenham. They led after 17 minutes, Romero with the goal, and Bowen has equalised 7 minutes into the second half. Emerson tries to deflect it off Kulusevski, in comes Paqueta with a physical challenge on Dejan Kulusevski. It's a throw in to West Ham United, and suddenly you can't hear their fans in the far corner of the ground behind Guillermo Vicario's goal. Keeper stood no chance with the equaliser, by the way. Bowen was on him in a flash and had rifled the ball beyond him before he could react. West Ham have no sort of record on this ground at all since coming and winning in the first game at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium back in April 2019. So they're right back in the game. Here's Son. The noise is absolutely deafening. Bowen for West Ham tries to switch it in towards Kudus. It bypasses him, and backtracking to pick it up now is Brennan Johnson for Spurs. Deep inside his own half, plays square to Davis, rolls it into Yves Bissouma, can turn unopposed. Now Giovanni Lo Celso, head up, looking for a pass, nothing on there in the inside left position, so he checks, rolls his foot over the ball, plays infield, and back it goes to Bissouma, and they'll build from a deep position. Romero coming forward now, little chip to the left hand corner of the box. Brennan Johnson tries to set up Udogie, and Souček was there to block, and Kudus has spun away here from Johnson. Udogie is still away down the field. Now he jogs back into his own half as West Ham playing to Ward-Prowse, but he's over the head of the young fullback, and an opportunity for Sofao to use his strength. Pulls it back for Bowen, edge of the penalty area, square to Ward-Prowse. One more pass, here's Paqueta, and it's saved low down by Vicario, diving to his left. Good move, West Ham.
Yeah, great move, wonderful runs. Just comes into Ward-Prowse, he flicks it down that right hand side. Sofao late run, does very well, just comes inside, and then the next one, unselfish as Ward-Prowse, think you're going to pull the trigger. Paqueta just tries to just left-footed, just try and stroke into the far corner. No real power, killed the momentum, but things have changed.
Dramatically changed the mood of the game. Has the Bowen equaliser. He's in startling away form, isn't he? Here's Kulusevski. That's a good ball out wide to him on the right-hand touchline. Got 2 or 3 yards on Emerson. Rolls it away then towards Pedro Porro. Porro trying to come inside the Italian international, Brazilian board defender. Takes a tumble, and the referee has stopped it here for a free kick just outside the box. And a yellow card, I think, for arguing the decision. It might have been for the foul itself. Emerson, goodness me, that's close to the penalty area.
Yeah, it's close, but he wasn't sure to make the decision. When we just look at it again, there's a little, it's a kick just on the edge of his toe into the back of his calf, and he sort of said play on, and no, he wasn't wanting to give it. So whether the referee just got a little bit of advice in his ear.
Further outside the box than I first thought. It's a good yard, maybe 4 feet outside the penalty area, but it's still in a dangerous position here for Giovanni Lo Celso to bend in the free kick.
That camera's right on top. It was a good shot, wasn't it? Right, literally right on top of the two guys in the wide free kick area. It's a strange situation here. Sometimes you might want to use the edge of the box, or do you want to use that left footer, right pace? Can anyone touch it? But it's a strong line from West Ham.
Spider cam has been lifted up to a height 100 feet above the pitch. It was very low down, as Michael was saying. Free kick for Tottenham. Lo Celso plays it square. Chance for the drive from just outside the penalty area. It was well blocked, well read by Bowen, and it was a good block there to deny the shot. As Everton go 3-0 up against Newcastle United. Beto getting their third goal. What a second half, or late second half it has been for them. McNeil getting the first, Ducouré, and now Beto.
Well, I think if I knew it was going to go to the edge, maybe maybe the West Ham players also had a good idea. But again, it's that man, isn't it? Bowen with the block.
To deny Basuma. Here's Højbjerg now trundling towards the West Ham United penalty area. He was challenged. Basuma picks up the loose ball, gets it out wide to Kulusevski. Paqueta's done a good job on him, and then whisked into a challenge on Porro. Ball could have gone anywhere. Ward-Prowse was there, finds Bowen on the left-hand touchline. The out ball for West Ham United. Just lost control of it. And Romero steps in and brings it forward here for Spurs adventurously. 10-15 yards into the West Ham United half. Side foots the ball, right foot towards Højbjerg. 1-1 on Sports Extra from the BBC. But as Højbjerg tried to spin the ball to the edge of the penalty area, Souček was well positioned to block. Oh, and that's a naughty little one. Porro on Paqueta is going to get a yellow card. I'm not too sure it's as bad as Paqueta's making out, but it was a naughty little one, and he gets a yellow.
Yeah, it was. It was just that delay. Great pass just to get away, but it's that late challenge. Referee straight away. Just jumped straight on top of it. But no, we just talk about West Ham, the change into the second half. One notable is Jarrod Bowen was playing down the right a lot. Kudus being the 9 because of he understands Jarrod Bowen can do that role. He has the responsibility of getting back up and down, keeping in that shape. Just slightly adjusted it. Kudus out the right hand side, and as soon as Bowen had that chance centrally, he's took it.
1-1. Tottenham against West Ham United. Underneath a high free kick out, Romero heads back for Tottenham, and it drops to Højbjerg off a thigh trap, then right foot spins it in towards Son, gobbled up on the half turn by Edson Alvarez. He's done that several times when Son has dropped deep. Alvarez has been there to mop up and win it back for West Ham United. That's his job, of course. Here's Kudus though now, right hand touchline, 5 yards in from that right hand touchline from a mistake by Udogie. Finds Ward-Prowse, and the crosses finds Bowen, and the cross is deflected away wide. It was so foul, I beg your pardon, the far side from me in front of the West Ham fans, and it's going to be a corner kick for West Ham now, and Ward-Prowse, the set piece expert, will go and take it. And the West Ham fans here now, Michael, believe they can go on and win this.
Why not? I think that's the first mistake, and it wasn't really a big one. Udogie, just the header into Kudus' path, and overlaps will come in, and they don't disappoint, do they, West Ham, when they have a crossing opportunity? At least they're all on the same page. You know it's going to come in. But this guy now just dropping the ball down. Where's he going to go?
Ward-Prowse with it. 60 minutes gone. 1-1. He'll bend it away from goal, that's for sure. Souček will be a danger in there. Would it come through to him? It's come all the way through the penalty area for Emerson to lift it back into the penalty box. Could have swung a boot at it with an acrobatic overhead. Nearly took Aged's head off. Ward-Prowse back into the mix. And Vicario was struggling and smothering and tipping it away for a corner kick. He looked troubled there, Vicario, by the flight of the ball. It's a corner.
It was a difficult one. It was a really sort of difficult ball, but it actually deflects off Højbjerg right down into the front post. He just tried to keep it in. It was always going wide. There was nothing he could do. It was the deflection off Højbjerg.
Took it wide. He was too sure whether Vicario touched it in the end, but he was down there to make sure it went wide. Ward-Prowse with the second corner in. That's a good header away for Tottenham Hotspur. Basuma was back there, maybe he made contact, so fell into the middle. Souček! Oh, tremendous goalkeeping. He was offside anyway, it wouldn't have counted. Still a splendid save.
Oh, great save. It's a brave run. They put it right back in. I think he was off by some margin, you would guess. Have another look. Yeah, he's a long way away, but you can hear now the supporters realise that Spurs have dipped. West Ham are right on the front foot. It's them who've got the momentum at this moment in time, and you'd never have said that would have been possible.
They were cagey, they were conservative, they stayed in the game, and now they're dominating the game. and Tottenham can't get out. They might do now. Here's Lo Celso. It was good work on the far side, Udogie. Lo Celso checks inside. Paqueta rolls him to the ground and will get a yellow card for this offence, I would think. Stopped Tottenham in their flow. And it's a free kick to Spurs. Gets away without a yellow, I think, now, Michael.
Yeah, I didn't think there was too much in it, to be honest. He just got his body in. He doesn't want to really see it back. There wasn't. So just dives to the floor.
Spurs have possession. Halfway inside the West Ham half, just to the left of centre. The gloved Bissouma to Højbjerg with a short sleeve shirt, rather typically. And it's cleared away for West Ham United as West Ham defender passing Tottenham move just outside their own box. They now have a throw in. Kudus wasn't strong enough there, a little bit lackadaisical. Bissouma whipped in with the challenge. Throw in taken by Udogie back to Bissouma. Has possession now, the former Brighton and Lille and Real Bamako player from his days back in African football, the Mali international. Kulusevski angles it to Højbjerg, who's had an industrious night. Gets it back, Højbjerg from Bissouma. Not a good ball though in by the Danish international. West Ham will run it out through Paqueta and Bowen back to his fullback Emerson. Emerson coming inside. Shoulder charge on Højbjerg as he ran forward with it, maintaining possession, and Souček rolls the pass, siphones it away towards Sofal on the right. Kudus cutting inside with a bandaged left wrist, and that's a terrible ball from him. He's given it straight to Højbjerg, but he tried to thread the eye of an impossible needle, and West Ham United get it back to Fabianski, and that's an opportunity really there, and he rushed his pass. But here comes Spurs again. It's that same Danish international. Højbjerg, 64 on the clock, and they picked up the pace again, Tottenham at 1-1. Kulusevski on the right-hand corner of the penalty area. Little nudge pass infield. Back again it comes to the sandy hair. Kulusevski lengthens his stride, takes on one, rolls it back again here to Lo Celso. Square to his left is Yves Bissouma. Won't want to shoot. Lo Celso might. Back to Bissouma. No one wants to shoot. And that's where the Spurs fans are groaning, and West Ham push them back. Now Romero, the Tottenham Hotspur goal scorer. Little ball 2 or 3 yards away, finds Lo Celso. There's Bissouma right on top of him again. No width, no movement. West Ham United holding firm at 1 apiece with 64 minutes gone. David Moyes going irate down on the touchline. Romero, in the end, frustration got the better of him, and he passed the ball straight towards Bowen. Bowen to Sofal, halfway line, Kudus a little back heel. And Tottenham can regain possession, and I'm not too sure West Ham will be happy with Kudus there.
Well, he had every chance, doesn't he? It was a brilliant flick. It was so unlucky, under pressure. You know, you want to see that. You want to get him to try it. I know you're disappointed, but here they go.
Richarlison's going to come on for Spurs momentarily. Here's Bissouma. To his right, 2 yards away is Højbjerg. Just outside the penalty as Kulusevski is crossed straight at Fabianski, and he will take his time before getting it away. And Ange Postecoglou down below us puts his arm around Richarlison. Some say he's going to leave Spurs in January. Don't think that will happen. Maybe next summer. Well, we'll wait and see. He's not been blessed with injuries. He had 4 minutes at the weekend in his comeback from a groin injury. And away it goes from Fabianski in that West Ham penalty area. He skied a clearance with his feet. Drops on the far side. And here comes Spurs again. You just joined us now on 5 Live. It's going to be a free kick for Spurs. 5 Live will be with us in just a few moments. Spurs are going to make a substitution. Richarlison will come on and Højbjerg will go off. Big change here, double change. Richarlison on, Skip coming on. 5 Live listeners join us with Spurs making a double substitution at 1-1. Richarlison is on, Skip is coming on as well. Lo Celso has just gone off for Tottenham Hotspur, who led after 17 minutes through Romero back from suspension. Then 7 minutes into the second half, a Kudus shot deflected off Romero, fell to Bowen inside the penalty area, and he tucked it in as neatly as he could to score in a 7th successive away Premier League game this season. Game on, free kick for Spurs from the left-hand side. In it comes, back in the West Ham goal for his first league appearance of the season. Fabianski punches clear, and he stayed down, and the referee stops it. Michael.
Well, it was a good ball in. Everybody was in around Fabianski. It was a great punch. And at that point, he had a little look. He decided to stay down. There was unrest with the supporters, but it was such a good delivery. And it was a great punch, to be fair to Fabianski. But Souček did catch him on the side of the face. There was a head injury. And at that point, Fabianski just decided to stay down. But it's interesting. The Spurs just from controlling it so much, a sensational first half, just coming under pressure from West Ham. They were the one gaining momentum. That Ange Postecoglou decides to make those two changes.
They're taking their time here, West Ham United. The referee will have a little word. Richarlison has rushed forward to spin the loose ball away towards the position from whence we'll have the restart with a bounce ball. The referee, having stopped it when Spurs had possession, will bounce it for Tottenham Hotspur to start things going again. Brennan Johnson with the unopposed bounce ball back then to Romero, who started the ball rolling way back in the 17th minute, and Spurs started in whiz-bang style and forced all the first half chances. Zuma hit his own angle of post and bar with an attempted clearance, but West Ham dug in there, still in the game. They're very much in this game now at 1-1. Yves Bissouma wearing the dark gloves away towards this near side, and the adventurous right back Pedro Porro between the touchline and the right hand edge of the penalty area. Gets it back again, Porro back to his right foot, in comes a cross, and again stabbed it back goalwards and just wide of his own goal for a corner kick.
Yeah, dangerous position. Pedro Porro hasn't disappointed on delivery, coming inside, and again just touching it. Fabianski just down to that left hand post, and you just hear the noise in here.
Corner kick that Porro will take, glanced away by Agate. Skip is there first to it. Now Bissouma to the right hand touchline. Porro once again seen a lot of the ball. It's a lovely ball in. Richarlison has missed a sitter from 4 yards out. A header that went wide of the far post.
Sensational ball yet again. We just talked about the deliveries, wanting to put balls into the box. Richarlison rises and it just literally glides past the post. I don't know if he just catches a little bit off the top of his shoulder, but he's got to score, he's got to do better. Huge chance for someone with that quality on the back post.
Time being taken by the West Ham United goalkeeper, and the Spurs fans didn't like it. Here's Richarlison now, desperately needs a goal. Richarlison down this near touchline. It's going to be a West Ham United throw.
It's been such an exciting game. Spurs went out the blocks really quickly, and then you didn't think West Ham could recover, and they have done. Let's change it slightly. Jarrod Bowen going into that 9 position. He started down the right hand side trying to just nullify Doggy, who was exceptional in the first half, and Spurs just keep coming though. They say it's okay, you've had a go West Ham, we're going to continue.
Live from the BBC. Son Heung-min has gone away towards the left hand side since Richarlison came through the middle. Brennan Johnson's come to the right. Here's Romero almost to the edge of the West Ham United penalty area. Kulusevski's gone into the 10 role as Tottenham give the ball away, and Kudus can sprint to the halfway line, but he's turned into a dangerous area and yet maintained possession until Bissouma got across and took the ball off his toes, and Tottenham have it once again, and they've just picked up the pace here. The substitutes maybe have made a difference, I don't know, but with 20 minutes to go, they seem to be on top here now. Spurs at 1 apiece, having dominated the first half an hour. West Ham could barely get out of their own half. Bissouma's let the ball roll under his feet, gets there, scampers, finds Ben Davies. Has his critics, Ben Davies, as the years roll on for him. He turned 30 back in April, but he'll always give you his best, Ben Davies, 100% the Welsh international. Kulusevski to the right hand side, 2 yards in from the line. It's rolled in by Porro. Now Bissouma has it. Kulusevski, short sleeve shirt on a cold early wintry night when the rain came bucketing down for the first half an hour or so. Son on the left touchline cuts the ball to Ollie Skip. Back it goes then to Son, who has possession. Son to Ben Davies, about 10 yards outside the West Ham penalty area. It'll roll ball back by Skip to Bissouma. Now Romero comes into the line. Thought about a shot from, some 30 yards out. Instead it goes wide towards the right touchline. Porro's cross, very well chested down by Emerson, and then cleared away by Edson Alvarez, but only as far as a lily white shirt. Belonged to Romero, off to Bissouma. On the angle, he finds the left-hand corner of the box. Son into the box. Skip gives it back to him. Here's Bissouma, shooting chance. Didn't take it. Finds Porro. He shoots. Carried away by Lucas Fabianski. Spurs pouring it on again. Michael Brown.
Yeah, great play. Moving it left to right. Little passes on the edge of the area. They just keep coming. Take it quick.
And it comes towards Porro. And his cross is blocked, and they should get it away. It was Brennan Johnson, in that penalty area. And now there's a little unnecessary nudge on Kulusevski that gives West Ham a throw in, and a free kick, I should say. And just the relief of the pressure is tangible for West Ham, and just what Ange Postecoglou didn't want.
Well, it's interesting that he made that change, and Postecoglou putting Richarlison in as the 9. He's put Son out to the left-hand side, which really was where West Ham's joy was coming. We've seen Soufal go and join in Kudos, the overlaps. Brennan Johnson possibly couldn't cope with it, but now he's got Son, who knows he's going to go both ways with him. And Brennan Johnson's just gone out to the right-hand side. Kulusevski in that midfield area. Bissouma the base, and Skip and Kulusevski the licence just to get forward.
Oh, it's a bad pack pass. Bowen was nearly in there. It's pounded away. Ward-Prowse is in the post. Follows up and rolls the ball into a vacant net. And West Ham United lead. And Tottenham Hotspur shot themselves in the foot. It's a clever finish because there was another West Ham player in there in an offside position and he touched the ball. Ward-Prowse shouted, picked up the loose ball and rolled it beyond Vicario. And West Ham United from 1 down early on, a 2-1 up.
Well, it's the most bizarre goal you'll ever see. Big mistakes from a Spurs point of view, but it was Ward-Prowse on the edge of the area. Just, you can't believe his luck. He takes on the shot. It looks like it's a certain goal. It just hits the inside of the post. And then it's Jared Bowen thinking, can I go and touch it? He's clever enough to leave it. He just gets that little shout. And at that point, just steps forward. Simple roll as Bowen just moves out, starts travelling towards the supporters. He knows he can't miss, but just seeing it back, Vicario just sort of punching it in front of Bowen as he tries to sneak in, but Udogie makes that back pass. He makes the mistake. What a turnaround in this game.
Spurs have dropped 13 points from a winning position in this season's Premier League. Only Burnley have dropped more. And from a position of absolute dominance in the opening 30 minutes. No wonder David Moyes is grinning like a Cheshire Cat down there, because his side are now leading with 15 minutes to go on 5 Live. It has been a tumultuous evening, and at times the noise in the Tottenham Stadium has been absolutely deafening. Spurs on the attack, Son creeping forward, near the dead ball line far side, tracked by Ward-Prowse, who has his 3rd West Ham United goal. And it's going to be a throw to Tottenham Hotspur on the far side. It has been breathless at times, hasn't it?
Honestly, it's just sensational. This is why we love football. This is why we come to these brilliant stadiums. And by the way, it was Spurs who set the whole tone for the night. They've been absolutely brilliant. West Ham reacted second half, full credit. I said at half-time, David Moyes will calm them down. He'll say, don't worry about that, we're still in the game, we can go and score, we've got the players to do it. But a key mistake. Udogie, who's been unbelievable in the first half, started well in the second, just making that mistake. Bowen, so aware, so alive, away from home. We talk about his record, and he's on top of it so quickly. And then Ward-Prowse on the edge of the area.
He said right at the start of the evening, this could be anything tonight, and it could still be. It's not over yet with 14 to go.
Let's hope so.
Bissouma finds Davis careering inside the West Ham half. He's carried 20 yards already. Little chip ball in. Johnson side flips it, and it's wide of the post and away for a goal kick. Bit of a half chance, maybe snatched at it, belying perhaps a lack of confidence. Just the one Tottenham goal, but wide it went.
He's almost had to wait for it, hasn't he, as the crosses come. He tries to use that side foot. He's under a little bit of contact, a little bit of pressure, but he doesn't catch it with any power. Disappointing. Everything he's tried to hit has really been tame.
Earlier on in the evening, you heard Everton beat Newcastle by 3. And here's Paqueta now for West Ham, spinning a lovely loop ball over the top of the Tottenham defence. Bowen couldn't quite bring the ball under control. Davis was with him and Bowen has stayed down, and he might just have tweaked his thigh there or his groin, which is a worry for West Ham United as Oliver Skipp pushes into Brennan Johnson. Now on the right-hand touchline he finds Porro, who's got forward so often, so well in the game. Skipp to Bissouma. Porro between the box and the touchline floats a lovely inviting cross to the far post, where so far gets a very important head onto it, and that's handball by Kudus as he went to bring the ball under control. He looks crestfallen. It's a free kick to Spurs.
It was so close to him, wasn't it? I think that's the point. Son just tries to get it. It hits on his strapped arm, that sort of a 45 degree, just sort of away from him. It gives Spurs now a wonderful opportunity, dangerous position. We've just seen one from the opposite side. They decided to pull it back and use the edge of the area. Not sure they'll do that. I'm sure Son fancies hitting it with great power right across the face.
And it'll come. Right-footed from Son with whip and power. Paqueta headed it away. West Ham United, who've lost 9 of their last 10 away London derbies in the Premier League and have a dreadful record on this ground ever since they became the first team ever to travel to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in April 2019 and win. Here's Kulusevski between the touchline and the penalty box, right-hand side. Back it goes to Pedro Porro with the close cropped hair, the Spanish international. Not a good ball, a wearied ball, a frustrated pass, and West Ham United will bring it away. Emerson, who had his trouble in the first half on Kulusevski, as West Ham chip intelligently down the line from Paqueta. Bowen has it, running free. Davis comes across to cover. Tottenham all of a sudden look a little bit tired. Bowen loops across towards Kudus on the far side of the penalty area. He's between the box and the far touchline. He has to wait for support, and so far is there with him, with 11 minutes to go, and West Ham leading by 2-1. Kudus' cross is swept away, half volley, right foot by Yves Bissouma, out towards the far side. But they do look tired here, Spurs.
Yeah, Jarrod Bowen does really well. You thought as he got a slight injury, that was a good sign, wasn't he, that he could have that sprint. He just sort of jumps back on side, right on the halfway line, and then runs down the outside. It's an inviting ball, but now West Ham no rush, setting up this long throw.
The Spurs about to lose 3 home league matches in a row for the first time since 2008. The long throw comes in. It's eased away by Romero, and Richarlison was tripped by Ward-Prowse as he went away towards the far side, and that will be a yellow card. Took one for the team, as they say, to stop Spurs getting away. Always second best, and he caught Richarlison on the back, just clipped his heel.
Well, he had a look, he had enough time, didn't he? He just decided, OK, I'll stop the flight, the run of the play, getting into dangerous areas. Slowed it down.
10 to go. If West Ham win, they'll have 4 away victories in this season's Premier League, as many as they won in the whole of last season. But plenty of slip twixt cup and lip, as my old granddad used to tell me. Tom White, manager of Wycombe Wanderers between the wars. Long Tom. Loved him. Used to talk about football, balance me on his knee and feed me Guinness. I loved him. Here's Tottenham on the edge of the penalty area. Ollie Skipp loses possession. And Ben Davis, was he fouled by Bowen? No, referee says play on. It's cleared away. Difficult for him to balance me on his knee. I was 18 at the time. Bissouma has it. Send a circle.
I'll have a try and let you know.
Kulusevski, Skipp rather, back towards Bissouma. Now he finds Davis, again allowed a lot of time to bring the ball forward for Spurs on an angle to the left-hand touchline. Son moved out there since Richarlison came on. Richarlison desperate for minutes, of course, after the injury. But Tottenham now, look as Bowen leads a West Ham United counter-attack all by himself. Romero thinks it should have been a Spurs throw, but the assistant on the far side says no. I think it's Richard West out there, and that's going to be a throw-in for West Ham United, and time seeps away. We've had 81.5 minutes now.
His take was good there, wasn't it? Jarrod Bowen. He had 2 around him. He just literally spun it, back foot, opened out, then ran at Romero. He didn't get the better of him, but he managed to keep the ball. And there he goes again, just using that body, knowing when to turn. And they're just going to open it up now. Spurs are just going to go everyone forward.
Bowen, 10 goals this season, got 13 in the whole of last. Here's Son. Square ball into the centre circle. Son has gone down. I think he just got a bump in the pit of his back there as he played the ball away. I'm not too sure it's his back because he's hobbling badly, but Tottenham go on, and Johnson finds Porro and his cross is blocked there by Emerson. He's had a much better second half. He's only missed a couple of games all season, Emerson, but he's been well disciplined in this second half. Kulishevsky to Eid Basuma, 7-8 yards outside the West Ham box, slightly right of centre, and Tottenham are going to make another change imminently as Basuma picks it up now. He has initially Romero available, then Davis is just backward of square, plumb dead centre of the pitch and halfway inside the West Ham half. Ambles forward and finds Son with a diagonal ball on the left. Now into Udogie, the left full-back, whose mistake led to that second goal. And Papisar's going to come on for Tottenham. He's been out for a little while, injured. And Brian Kill is going to come on for them as well. As the cross comes in from Porro on this near side, again it's charged down, again it's cleared away. West Ham defending so valiantly to a man. What an important victory this would be. Basuma is going off for Tottenham Hotspur, and Brian Hill comes on. It's just a 5th appearance of the season for the Spanish international. Attacking change, and replacing Brennan Johnson is Papisar, who at the start of the season was terrific. He's been out since November the 11th with an injury, and he will drive them on.
Yeah, he's had a go, hasn't he? He's decided, let's have a roll of the dice, see what we can create. He's really trying push West Ham back, but that's something they're used to doing, sitting and waiting and pouncing on the counter.
That's a poor ball by Romero, tired ball. He gets a second chance though, and it goes to Porro. Paqueta digging in deep, Porro away from him. It's a cross into the middle and plucked out of the air by Lucas Fabianski. Back in the side, first league appearance since May the 28th. He's had to be patient. No Areola, out with a wrist injury. Dealt with that well.
That was a difficult take, you know, under pressure. Ryan Gill coming right across the front post. Pedro Porro, he's done well, you know. He's kept going, he's across the pitch, he's back, he's up and down, he's trying to get balls, trying to do things in the right way, and again getting past his man and sticking that cross, and here he goes again.
Kulishevsky back out to this near touchline. Son playing off Richarlison. Hill on the left hand side now is the way that Spurs have reorganised after the substitutions as they chase the game. They trail by 2-1. It's not over yet. Over the top looking for Richarlison, and out comes the veteran Polish international, the former Arsenal and Swansea man and West Ham United sort of folk hero is Lucas Fabianski.
Yeah, it was a good ball, wasn't it, from Romero. Richarlison, that bend run, it was just too far away. Fabianski does come out, but it's interesting, later stages, Kulusevski coming down the right hand side. That's what they managed to do at Manchester City late on.
Here's Bowen, who got the equaliser after 52 minutes after a shot was deflected and fell to him. There's been an element of fortune about both West Ham United's goal, but there's nothing fortunate about the way they've worked. Tireless, united, bonded together as a group. And this is what David Moyes has instilled in this group of players. Won in Europe last season, and this season again will look to qualify for Europe, even if it is through the Europa. Spurs about to make another change down below me any moment now. Arajo Belis is going to come on, the young Argentine striker. Not had much of an opportunity. This will be his 5th appearance from the bench. In comes the corner kick. It's loose, it's punched away by Vicario. Under pressure, Spurs a wee bit fortunate. Look to counter, Richarlison's ball creeps through to Udogie, and covering back was Emerson. Tell you what, he's had some second half, Michael, because he was given a bit of a run around in the first.
He was, but he's got forward. Either go into that corner, it's just pure running now. The flag goes up. West Ham supporters saying it should have been okay. Bowen just tries to get the other side of it, but it's Tylers. They've got something to chase for now. They've got something to keep hold of, but Kulusevski's the danger man.
Kulusevski, in comes across. Emerson slid in to try and block it. He can't get back to his feet. Emerson, he's dead tired. Kulusevski pulls it back. Son round the penalty spot. Son sets up an opportunity. It's over from Papisar.
That's a big chance. Son, when he gets under the edge of the area, quick feet, just chopping it late, just sets up Papisar, comes on right-footed, on the edge of the area. You think, just hit the target. I know he's only come on, but it's a big chance. Just caress it, far post, don't lean back. But this is an interesting change for Spurs with Son.
And on comes Arakovelis for the Spurs captain, who did have that little bit of an injury problem about 10-15 minutes ago. Vélez has played 16 minutes this season from the bench, having signed from Rosario Central back in the summer for 13 million. And West Ham United are going to send on Fornals, I think it is, any moment now for Kudus, as time wends its way down. On he comes then. Pablo Fornals, they say, could be off in January. His contract runs out in June. Been in the club since 2019 and is approaching 200 games.
Kudos getting a wonderful reception in front of those supporters. He's looked dangerous, and he's looked sharp. It was a slow start for him, but then he got into it.
Slow trudge around the far side in front of the West Ham fans for Kudus. They love him, the West Ham supporters. But it's Tottenham on the ball. Kulusevski pushes it back here then towards Christian Romero, back in the side tonight after his sending off against Chelsea, one of his 4 sendings off for Tottenham, too many. Porro from the right touchline, in comes across, Souček sweeps it away. This performance is so very, very West Ham United 2022 to 2024 for the last 18 months or so. As Souček back there outside his penalty area, rolls it away to Ward-Prowse. Fornals to Bowen. Bowen challenged by Romero, kicked through the West Ham man. He's saying he won the ball. He kicked through him and gets a yellow card. This is his problem.
He comes tight. Bowen just steps his body back across. He's having another little look to see how bad it is. And do you know what? He gets some of the ball, and it's only, he says, I've got the ball. Why is the referee? That's an easy target because of his reputation. He shouldn't receive a yellow card for that. There's no way he should. He steps forward, he makes the argument for a foul, and that's enough.
Looking at from the replay, he won the ball with his right foot, and the follow through might have caught Bowen, but not with great strength or anything. A lack of control. It's unfortunate there, really, but here's Paqueta now for West Ham United. He'll roll it out towards the corner flag and try and waste some time. Kulusevski back in there, Skip back in there. Paqueta claims a corner, but it was he who nudged it out of play as we enter now here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, with West Ham United leading by 2-1 the last 10 seconds of the 90 minutes. The 4th official down there, Andrew Madley, will show us the board now and let us know how much stoppage time we've got. 5 minutes. Did you guess 5 then? Did you guess 5? You guessed 5.
No, you guessed it right in the first half. So.
No, here's Romero. Romero has possession and ambles forward. Pushed out wide towards this near side. Kulusevski switched to his left foot, looks for Richarlison, back to goal, couldn't do anything. And Kulusevski just lifted a little foot in trying to win it back against Emerson. Play on, Porro, venturous right back. Skip, turning outside the penalty area. Chance for Kulusevski to get the cross in. Pulls it back for Brian Hill. Brian Hill shimmies to his left-hand side, brings in Papasar. And as he tried the effort, out came Alvarez to get the block in, and we go on. Alvarez left a foot in there on Skip. Play on, here's Hill. Hill twisting, turning, back to goal, out towards its near touchline. West Ham leading by 2-1 on 5 Live. Been a brilliant evening, been a sensational game. Romero is up to on his feet. I think it was Fornals who caught him moments ago.
Honestly, what a block that was. Sarr just opening up his second chance. Brilliant desire from Fornals is coming on.
Kulusevski again raged down the right, checks inside onto his left foot, bends it. Caught betwixt and between, a bending cross, a bending shot, goal kick.
Someone with such quality, wonderful left foot. I just think, bring it out your foot, take another touch and actually go for it. Have a strike, because he can do that sort of effort into that far corner. You can see now David Moyes just coming to the front, telling him to delay, wait, be patient. I mean, you cannot believe the second half has went like this. The Spurs absolutely dominated this first half.
Chunks of luck for the West Ham goals, but they hung on in there. There will be question marks asked of Ange Postecoglou if the games go on without wins here at this stadium. There's nothing really he could do about either of the goals. There's a good challenge. Again, pushes the ball out of play by Aged, who's been brilliant for West Ham at the back tonight again. 5 Live from the BBC. 2.5 minutes gone of stoppage time. West Ham leading by 2-1. They were 1-0 down after 17 minutes through Romero. Then Bowen after 52 and Ward-Prowse putting them ahead. Sarr gets across into the edge of the box. That bounce away off Alvarez. Kulishevsky on the drive. There's a double block in there. Bowen and then Paquetá is left-footed. And he's given away a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area as he just left the foot dangling and Porro went over it.
Yeah, he's having a little look. One on Kulishevsky possibly. Porro, 100%. He's caught him. A dangerous area. Just kicked that shin pad. What a decision he's made.
Wasn't Paquetá? Well, I thought it was Paquetá.
Yeah, but Bowen comes back again and he had an opportunity and he should know better just to wait. This is a big moment in the game. It's a little bit wide. West Ham just organising that wall. It's a big one. They've got one behind it. It's whether Spurs are going to decide to move it. Kulishevsky, as you've said, he's got that quality on top of the ball.
Porro moves away to the left, 2 paces. Kulishevsky 4 paces to the right. It's Pedro Porro around the wall. It took a deflection off it, and it's going to be a corner. And Porro races to the referee and says that was a handball. He's saying it was elbowed away by a West Ham defender in the wall. And the referee might just be saying here this is going to be a delay. When it hit the arm of Zuma, I think, which was, to me, was down by his side. Porro is saying, as we see a replay, that he brought his elbow onto the ball. I don't think he did. Well, it is being VAR checked.
Did you hear the atmosphere there as it come up on all the screens all around the stadium? Checking possible handball.
And it's been sorted very quickly, and it is a corner kick only. And I think, Michael, very quickly, that was the correct decision.
Yeah, it looked it straight away. I was waiting to get one more look before I made judgment. But now, zonal, couple of blockers. This delivery's got to be on point.
In it comes. We're entering the last 30 seconds of stoppage time. Curled away by Porro. Last chance of the game. Headed by a West Ham player through the penalty area. Gill scampers off after it on the far side. Brian Hill pulls it back to Papsar. 10 yards outside the penalty, looks for Kulishevsky. Paquetá comes to meet him. Kulishevsky into the box. Last attack here for Tottenham Hotspur. Can they make it count? Davis trying a little backheel to Kulishevsky. And West Ham United will run it away. And down the touchline, that's given away. That's a cheap mistake. And Paquetá has gone back, won it, goes to ground. Free kick against Kulishevsky, who can't quite believe it.
Look how he's laying on the floor. It tells you everything. He knows he's managed to buy the free kick. There was a little bit of contact. He engineered it. And that dive with the arms open just tells you that's the end of the game. He's managed to do the job. He's high-fiving Emerson, and you know why. There's one on the hoardings, down, injured. Not sure who it is, but wow, it's had everything this game.
Kulishevsky, as he ran with Paquetá, he just got a flick of a hand up into his face. Paquetá ended up sprawled like the geezer in Platoon, the film, you know, when he goes down, he looked like him there, but he's okay, and I think Kulishevsky's okay, and the referee blows for a very famous West Ham United victory, and the hordes of West Ham United fans in the corner quadrant opposite me celebrate wildly because they know they weren't in this in the opening half an hour. Ange Postecoglou grimaces down below us, his team beaten here. They led after 17 minutes through Romero, back in the starting lineup. Tottenham were all over them, absolutely all over them. Could have scored more, should have scored more. 7 minutes into the second half, Bowen, lucky deflection, put away brilliantly for yet another away goal. And then Ward-Prowse, a terrible back pass by a doggy, hit the post, followed up, rolled it in. West Ham have won a terrific game, Michael.
Oh, a terrific game. It had absolutely everything. What I enjoyed so much about this game. Sensational Spurs in the first half. They wanted to run forward, they wanted to create great desire, great quality. It was Romero who was obviously the villain coming back in, getting that opening goal, and you were wondering, can West Ham react? They'd huffed and puffed in the first half, and then they just classic away performance, waiting their opportunities, waiting chances. Bowen was excellent, it was Ward-Prowse as well. who managed to get that winner. They defended it out, the supporters celebrating. It was just an unbelievable game of football.
Absolutely sensational. What a midweek it has been. The Premier League brimful of thrills and spills. Delighted and honoured to be here. And West Ham United have won this by 2-1.
The broadest smile on the face of David Moyes at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, punching the air and walking away towards the West Ham fans with all of his teammates, and the 1,000-yard stare on the face of Ange Postecoglou. West Ham United are 9th in the Premier League on 24 points, but they're only 3 now behind Tottenham in 5th. And remember, 5th place this season could be what you need for Champions League football next season. We've got reaction on the way to what happened at Goodison Park tonight as well. It finished Everton 3, Newcastle 0. We'll hear from Sean Dyche. We'll hear from Dwight McNeil, one of the Everton goal scorers, as well, as they move out of the bottom 3. But let's start at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Jonathan Pearce, your commentator. Worthy winners West Ham then, Jonathan?
Oh, I'm not too sure about that. I'll tell you what, they dug in very, very deep. But in the first 25 minutes you could only see one winner, and Tottenham led through Romero's goal from close range, and they had a bucket full of chances, even one provided by a West Ham player, Kurt Zuma, slicing a clearance against the angle of post and bar. And by far the busier goalkeeper was Lucas Fabianski, playing his first Premier League game since May. I count 18 Tottenham efforts on goal in the game, but West Ham United was still in there. And when Kudus had a shot blocked by Romero 7 minutes into the second half, Bowen stabbed in the rebound for 1-1. Paqueta had an effort save. Ward-Prowse then struck a post from a bad back pass to him by a doggy, and he rolled forward and rolled in the loose ball, with Bowen very cleverly staying out of the action because he would have been offside. And all of a sudden you're looking at a West Ham United win. This is what West Ham United are all about under David Moyes. Never write them off, and they've won here. Whether they deserved it over the 90 minutes, Steve, I'm not too sure. But don't tell a West Ham United fan that I said that, because they will go away thinking they did, because this is West Ham. This is what West Ham do.
Former Spurs midfielder Michael Brown's been alongside Jonathan for commentary. At the end of the day, Michael, Spurs were great for the first 20 minutes and they were pretty good in the first half. But the problem is, and it's not the first time it's happened, so we can't really put it down to bad luck, they're giving away leads left, right and centre again.
Well, they are, but you know, it wasn't that, right? They were that good, Steve. Honestly, they were so good. It was brilliant to watch. They were ripping West Ham apart. But as I said in the commentary, you've got to get a second goal, because of all teams you play against, at half-time, David Moyes will say, don't worry, they were better than us, but we now know what we do. We've rolled that out. We will come good. We'll start to get forward. A slight little change. He puts Bowen as the 9. They start playing a few diagonal passes, picking them off. Spurs getting a little bit tired, but you know they're going to open up. You know West Ham are going to have chances. But honestly, it was a classic away performance where they just sat in, waited. Second half, they thought, right, we know we're going to get these opportunities. Honestly, Steve, the start of the game from Spurs, it looked like there was no way out for West Ham. It was that good.
It was like the start of the Chelsea game, Michael. That's what it looked like.
Honestly, it was just brilliant. We're watching and thinking, what do West Ham do? They sat there and it was just endless run. And maybe the actual burnout. I'm interested to see actually what the stats are for high-intensity runs in the second half, distant covered, etc., sprints in the second half to what it was in the first half, because West Ham maybe just conserved their energy and then literally started to get in better positions. Udogie started to get quiet because he'd done that much running probably in the first half, made the mistake. But it was just, we had the build-up. We were like, we're hoping we're going to get one of these Spurs games, a real end-to-end thing. Watching Premier League football like this, and I know the Spurs supporters are going to go away disappointed, but they've still seen a really top performance from the team, and that's the frustrating thing.
I wonder, Jonathan, and it's difficult to put myself in the shoes of a Tottenham fan, but every individual poor result they've had, and obviously a draw at Manchester City is not a poor result, but if you look at the 3 defeats before then and the defeat tonight, you can give reasons and you can look at positives in every one of those games, but ultimately it's 5 without a win. So at some point that stacks up, doesn't it? It
does. I think Postecoglou's got credit in the bank because of the way he started here. I know they've not won in 5, but they had a 10-match unbeaten league run at the start of the campaign. People were talking about them being genuine title contenders. I always thought that was a little bit flattering in this first season for him in control, and he's not going to change. He will not. Our Celtic fans, this is the way he did things at Celtic. This is the way he's done things in his career. This is the way he managed Australia, took them to the Asian Cup in 2015, and all through his managerial career in Japan with Yokohama, who won the league with then. I think he's missing key players. We know that. I think James Maddison would change the pace of a game. I think Michael's talked about this relentless running, high intensity. I think James,
or he'd have the quality to unlock the door and make sure there was a chance converted. I think that's something as well that he possibly would do. A commentator said to me, Steve, before the game, a main commentator said, I think Spurs are the real deal. You think they're going to finish right into the top 4? And I said, I have concerns of that. I don't see that level of consistency or the way they're going to see out until they get more players back. It's going to take a little bit longer, and that's one of the reasons why.
And also on James Maddison, if they're in a game like this where they have been dominating, they concede an equaliser, all right, then they go behind. He is exactly the kind of player who is going to unlock that low block that you come up against, and a team can defend as hard as they want. He can find a way through the door. They didn't have that.
Yeah, they didn't have it because, again, when you look at that desired organisation against West Ham, the midfield three just sat in. You see the likes of Kudus coming back, doing his job, Paqueta and obviously Bowen just dropping in and just filling those gaps and not allowing too much space. You've seen really wide efforts of long crosses from Porro trying to create, but through the centre there wasn't much space because they really did well with closing that out, West Ham.
And on the Ange Postecoglou thing, and people say he's got the right tactics, and he didn't miss the ball at the far post like Richarlison did. Poor old Richarlison can't do anything at the moment. It's a massive chance. He's back in the side. He needs minutes. He's had his injury. Big chance comes at the far post. He headed it wide. That's nothing to do with the manager.
Ange did well. West Ham started to control, and it looked like they were going to go out and win the game. He made the change, put Son across, and thought, right, I need to stop that now. So I'm watching his in-game changes. You can't really say too much about it. You just got to say, you're talking about discipline. That's the discipline of being of overplaying with your doggy on a key moment, and that's just changed the whole outcome of the game. Just one back pass.
It's James Ward-Prowse. I mean, he might already have been one of the signings of the summer, but he just seems to keep underlining that week on week, Michael.
Yeah, brilliant. Do you know what he is, though, Steve? He's just a team player. I watched him in the middle of the pitch when he couldn't get near people because they overloaded. They had the extra one in there. The front three of Spurs went and took 4. Your doggy come forward. The others were comfortable on the ball. So as a midfielder, you're thinking, which one do I go and get? And he couldn't do that. But do you know what he did? He just got back into his slot, got close, waited for the chances, waited to go and press. That's a difficult thing. I've done that so much in my career, being in that middle of the pitch and thinking, I can't get near the ball. I want to go and press. I want to go and get it. Discipline-wise, when you haven't got it, that's really, the concentration levels are so key. Just to wait, don't leave it, get your teammate next to you, and that's what he does. He understands it. He's done it before for so long, and then just he waits, and all of a sudden he comes into the game. He backs his quality, he backs his runs, his timings, and that understanding now that he's got, and he gets all these rewards.
Michael's going to stay with us for another 12 minutes or so until Colin Murray takes over on 5 Live. Jonathan, thank you very much. Jonathan Pearce, your commentator there at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for a massive win for West Ham United. We are definitely going to Goodison Park next.